Now back to Rick and Suds.
And nobody could even tell that he'd been there.
Good job.
I said, his motto ought to be, hey, you'll never even know we were there.
But he didn't charge you, though, did he?
He wanted to charge me $350.
Woo!
Yeah, exactly. He got as much payment as your bounce check did. So anyway, it's 9:37 at WIOD.
Can you imagine how right on the puss they were at that bank yesterday when they look in the thing and they see not only it wasn't a hold put on it, it was just
that's just stupid.
Just a little error
ineptness.
there. You'd almost think that there was some malice involved there. I mean, what kind of a moron looks at a balance and sees over $100 more than the amount of the check and then says, well, guys, let's bounce the check?
Somebody who's dealing with your money, not their money.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes important. Okay, let's try. We have open lines, by the way, in Broward, 524-WIOD and Dade 751-9463.
No. Is it Yom Kippur again?
Let's try West Palm. Hello. West Palm, good morning.
Sure.
All right, here's a mobile.
Hello.
Back at you.
How's it going? Banks suck.
There you go.
Part two.
I was like that other guy. I used to never pay attention to it until I got a computer and started doing my checking on Quicken. And then,
I was just telling Neil that. Isn't it great? You just press reconcile, you enter your balance.
It takes you 5 minutes, but I mean, you'll catch a penny, And everyone I caught was the bank.
Right, and it's always in their favor. Whoever you're paying, it's always in their favor because somebody don't read too well.
Right, and then this guy says he don't care. Well, I added it up, even in small amounts. Say it was $20. You took a $20 bill up if you found it laying on the road.
But you see, he writes it off to he doesn't care about 50 cents, which is fine, but he doesn't know if it's $50 because if you don't balance, how are you going to know if it's 50 cents or $500?
Exactly.
So, sure, you can just for sake of argument say, oh, I'm not going to worry over 50 cents because I'm a hot shot, but you don't know what it is if you don't open up the statement.
And then, like they did to Neil there, then you end up with $30, $27, all these service fees, and it's a bunch of BS.
Well, sometimes it takes something to get your attention. You realize how many mistakes, the ineptitude of the people who are doing this. I don't know if I could do that anyway, to be like a data entry person, to sit there and look at all those checks day after day, all you do 8 hours a day. But the fact is they make a tremendous amount of mistakes.
Well, sure. You have a computer. How many times you hit the wrong key?
All of them.
Yeah. Listen, the acronym for the day, Dolphins. Dan's other leg put Harbaugh in nirvana. Goodbye.
What do you do with the S? Let's go to Miami. Hello.
Rick and Suds,
Yes, back at you.
Hey, what do you guys know about this real audio on the internet? And
it sucks. It sounds like really, really crappy AM radio. That's the state of the art.
So we are going to have it starting soon.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard some that doesn't sound too bad.
What is too bad?
I mean, it sounds normal.
I've heard other radio stations.
Yeah.
And it's
that's what I've
garbled.
Heard, yeah.
It's
Some of them, it depends, man.
On whose computer have you heard it on?
Doesn't matter.
You don't have one? You don't have one. Don't start giving me these looks like you have one. You have a computer?
I said I've heard it.
Well, then give me an answer. Whose computer have you heard it on?
Well, that doesn't make any difference.
I've used Real Audio, the program that's out right now, and it sounds like crap. How about you, sir?
I've heard some that sounds like crap, and I've heard
I've never listened
some
to
that
it.
sounds
I've got it on
pretty
there, but
decent.
I've never bothered to
that
do it.
iWave. Also, we're on iWave. And Adam says that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I was listening to Steve Nicol on Sunday, and he said your station was going to be on it, but he also said that Phil Hendrie, they might simulcast his show from midnight to 3 out here, and that he's talking to Phil's agent and to Phil about possibly doing that. Carrying the show live. In other words, it's 9 to midnight out there. It'll be 12 to 3 here.
Yeah.
He said that, huh?
The PD did, yeah.
Oh.
Steve Nicol. I don't know if he was drunk or not.
I ran into an interesting homepage. It's called the Steve Nicol Sucks homepage. Have you seen that? Have you
the
seen
Steve
that?
Nicol Delusions of Fantasy homepage.
It's on there. Somebody.
I'm telling you, don't you think it would be a lot easier? Seriously, with all due respect to Phil, wouldn't it be a lot easier if Steve got in the back of, like in the trunk?
Yeah.
Just got a bottle, got in the trunk with some ear holes.
Yeah.
And Phil drove him out there with him. And he could be the PD of KFI from 9 to midnight. I think I had the... No, seriously, I think I had the right solution for the whole deal there. Because he is just, he'll never be the same now.
So the show's going into syndication before it ever starts?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, sounds logical to me.
In fact, right now, tonight, we're going to be carrying it, even though it's not on. We're just opening up the pot and waiting.
Well, what you
and
do
I got news for you. It would still be better than that sports crap we got tonight.
Exactly.
All you do is imagine how great it would be from midnight to 3.
Well, he said today was the due day, whether he's going to stay with Paxson or not.
Who?
Steve Nicol.
Whether who's going to stay with Paxson?
Him.
Oh, today
When
is,
did he say all this?
Now, how the hell... let me... it's really interesting that he goes on the air Sunday morning and tells the audience all this stuff, but none of us know anything about this. Today is the D-Day as to whether he's going to be the PD or not?
That's what he said.
How come we don't know that?
He's going to decide whether he wants to
He's
stay
going to
or not.
decide. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Has he come in yet?
Don't you think it's cutting it a little bit close to the bone?
I do. Is he there yet? Is he in the building?
Well,
We
now,
haven't
wait a
checked
second.
the
What do you
floors
mean
in the
by that?
hallways.
He's still got almost a week.
Yeah.
Has he dragged in yet?
And, of course, let me also tell you, since you brought this good news up, we were just lamenting during the last break that, like, sports talk, we don't have any idea if Defoe's staying or going to QAM, so we have no idea who's doing sports talk. 8 to midnight, he's allegedly bringing some guy. I don't know if he's bringing this guy from Vegas in that he was talking about or who it is. We've got somebody new coming on, but we don't know who it is or what they do or anything about them. Overnight, we have no clue whether it's going to still be this Ron Barr sport. We don't have any idea what's going to be on, like half the broadcast day.
And he said the sale might go through Friday, so that's what, 3 days away?
It's supposed to go through Friday. It will go through Friday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. The 30th. I mean, the 30th is when they take over. Friday, it goes through the 27th. Right, as of the 30th, we will be Paxson.
Good luck, guys. You need it.
Oh, thanks.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for the good
Yeah,
news.
just click your heels
So let's see,
together.
they're carrying Phil from what, from 6 a.m. to midnight?
6 a.m. to 6 a.m. every
Margaret's
day.
they're going to bring her back out of the bay. They're going to fish her ass out.
She
She's
ain't
going to
that
do the
dead.
first 4 hours.
Right.
And then they're going to bring back, what's his name? Earl Pants.
Yeah.
Errol Garner and Earl Pants. I'm getting misty just thinking about it.
Well, why does Phil even have to go? Why can't he just stay here instead of relocating and do the show from here and simulcast it out to KFI rather than going to KFI
That's a good
and
idea.
simulcast it right here?
Except I think he'd rather be out there.
What?
Wouldn't you?
Would you call me?
Jew.
Let's go to mobile. Hello.
Yes.
Morning.
Morning. Rick and Suds.
Yeah.
Speaking.
Budlows.
Back at you.
Got a bank story for you. It'll knock you out of your socks.
Yeah. Not wearing any, so give it a shot.
No
Okay,
socks
try
in
your
this room.
underwear. Went to the bank to check the balance on my account about 2 months ago. I had $3,647 more money in my account than I was supposed to.
Congratulations.
And I walked up to the teller and I said, there's a mistake in my account and I'd like to get it corrected. Well, you have to go see the manager. So I went over to this young man and he said, yep, you're absolutely right. And I said, well, I'd like to get it withdrawn because I know if I spend it, you're going to come and put me in jail. So he said, well, we got to go through a procedure. Can you come back tomorrow? And I said, sure. It's not convenient, but I'll do it. I went home.
What was the procedure? Why did you have to come back tomorrow?
I don't know. Just punch a button and take the $3,647 out of my account and let
No,
me
they
go
have
home.
to surgically remove it. Dr. DeBakey had to come back from Moscow.
Your
I
account
think
was
that's
impacted.
right. It was rectal surgery as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
Anyway, I go home that night. The next day, I go back to the bank, and the guy says, oh, I want to talk to you about the 2 bounced checks you have. And I said, how can I have 2 bounced checks? I've never written a check for more than my mortgage payment. I only write 6 or 7 checks a month. And I've got $7,000 or $8,000 in that account besides the $3,647 you mistakenly put in there. He said, we froze your account, so the check's bounced. Now your account's going to remain closed.
This is what he had to do while you were
So in other
gone.
words, they froze the account, the amount you really had in, plus the $3,600, which was there because of their mistake.
Because of their mistake.
Oh,
It checks.
what bank was this?
Barnett.
All right.
So I went to I go back to the bank and I say to the guy, well, look, do you think it would be...
Well, they were protecting you, though.
Due to the fact I have an excellent credit record and I've never bounced a check
but
in my
they were
life.
protecting you.
Which
You know,
you
what happens if more money came into your account or something and that account wasn't frozen?
I'm going to prison, I think.
Yeah, there you
but
go.
But anyway, the end result was I asked them if they would write a letter to the 2 places that the checks were bounced on.
Yeah.
And explained that it was their problem. They said, yes, they would take care of it immediately. That's 2.5 months ago. I've been to the bank 4 times, and now that computer won't write that letter.
Immediately is a figure of speech in the banking industry, sir.
Immediately is a lifetime.
Now you got it. That's the figure of speech.
Now,
so they're not going to write...
this?
What do you mean the computer was frozen, they're not going to write the letter?
The punchline. After this was all over and my account was opened up, 10 days later, I still had the $3,647 in my account. So my companions at work decided I should write a check for that amount.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Take it out of there.
Right.
So I wrote a check, but I went to the bank to cash it. And I told the man at the bank, the same guy I've been talking to all this time, here's my check, I'm going to cash it, I'm going to take this cash, and I'm going to walk out of the bank, and I'm going to keep it. And
you should have put it back in your account.
And he says, you can't do that, it's illegal.
It's your money.
Yeah. Guess what? My account was all straightened out in about 37 seconds.
You didn't have to go home and wait a day, huh?
I love banks.
Or freeze anything on your own.
I wouldn't.
That's
incredible. The only bad thing, guys, I wouldn't hook my computer up to a bank for anything. I don't trust them. My computer is not hooked up to a bank at all. I hope so. No, it's, but I still pay all my checks and everything electronically by a third party. A third party. I will guarantee you someday they'll dream up a way to clean out your account and bounce every check you've got, and you have to live with suds. I'm plugging it this afternoon, pal. Thank you. 9:47. Have we taken a break?
You see where his mistake was? Why did he have to be? He still wanted to be so honest. Why did he go back and tell the guy?
He wasn't. He was honest.
Just write the check.
Well, he was afraid of going to jail.
Oh, is that?
Whenever it's in your favor, you got to go to jail. It'll never come out. The only person that I have ever known for a favor to come out in his favor forever is Suds Coleman. He bought an entertainment center from Levitt's. They never billed him. He made one payment. They never billed him. It was like $15,000. He paid $142 on it, and that was about it. 10 years ago, right?
Oh, at least.
Yeah. Now he's the only guy. I've mentioned it on the air. You think Levitt's may go back in there, look for a Coleman, a Suds, a Selburn, something. Late. Yeah, well, forget it. He's the only one to ever walk from some. Everybody else goes to jail. And that's what this guy was afraid of. So he was just covering his own butt. Anyway.
Leave it to Levitt's.
9:41 or 9:48. Look at that. We just gave you 7 minutes. There's your interest.
It's for bad guys.
When you talk live on 610 WIOD, you'll be recorded, and we'll play the tape back whenever we feel like it.
9:52 at WIOD, 8 in front of 10 o'clock.
So let me ask you this question. Since no, seriously, this is mind-boggling.
We're stunned.
Again, we only find out stuff from the audience.
Right.
Thank God, at least for a few of those bastards out there, that we get little dribs and drabs of stuff that's going on, because nobody talks to us most of the time. And suppose he decides, well, the booze ain't good here anymore, or something, or I can't get Phil's show on overnight, so I'm not staying. Who's the PD then? Who's going to be in charge of this rocket ship?
Adam will do it. Do you recall we didn't have a PD for some time, and we were
we did
doing
pretty
darn well?
In between,
Yeah, exactly. Like things went up, and we're pretty successful. Let's go to Miami.
Floating along there.
Yeah. Miami Beach, 4.1 in the morning show, I remember.
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. I am a listener.
Yeah.
I need to ask you a question.
Well, we are the hosts.
I guess maybe...
We are the hosts, so we must answer these questions.
I realize that you can't have a show like yours without offending somebody.
That we offended you?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Okay.
I hope I can return the favor.
Sure.
You know,
we obviously offended your dog, too.
Statements like professional Jew and Yom Kippur. There are things that are holy to us.
Yeah.
And I really think that you need to ease up with it.
Wrong.
Well, from a lowlife like you, I can understand.
Oh, lowlife, because I don't agree with you.
I mean, why do you have to...
Because I don't run the shul. But wait a minute. So it's okay for you to call me a lowlife, but if I make fun of silly old holidays...
My friend, the only thing I call you a lowlife for is for making statements like that. What you decide to do with your life is your business.
Oh, really?
I don't find you wrong or right or anything else.
Yeah, thank God.
But for the rest of us who feel that this is our way of life,
you know something? There's 80 zillion religious shows on all over TV and radio.
Forget the religious
and when somebody
shows.
comes
I'm not talking about religious
how come
shows.
you don't want to let me say anything?
Why don't you just say it the way it is? If you have somebody to
I'm
make
trying
fun
to
of,
say it the way it is, but you just keep talking. You don't want an answer.
In jail anyway.
You just haven't taken
and
a
the ones
breath.
who aren't in jail are
I
out
think probably yesterday the fast is getting to your brain.
Like
You're trying to make up for it now.
Probably to lowlifes like you.
Yeah, lowlife. There we go again.
Right.
Why don't you go to the
Don't
Wailing Wall and wail on it, okay?
You are the
Why don't you hawk and rock back and forth at the Wailing Wall? Go to Jerusalem with the Arabs there. Put some shmatas on, okay? And why don't you go yank your tzitzis while you're at it?
Like
you crazy bastard. Take your yarmulke and stuff it in your dreidel, okay? And I hope you eat it for lunch next Yom Kippur and you burn in purgatory. I hope that's Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, blow it out your Jewish ass.
Oh, we're fine. 9:55 at WIOD. Let's go to...
Yeah,
he's
the good religious Jew right there, yeah.
Let's just knock it off. A little dead air after that.
Even Golden Mayer and her brother Oscar are rotting in their grave listening to that prick.
Let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to tell you about that quarterback situation.
The who to what?
The quarterback.
Quarterback.
Oh, the quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quarter means.
If they bring in the third string.
They bring in the third string.
The third string quarterback.
The third string.
Before the fourth quarter.
Before the fourth.
Then the first and second cannot come back in.
That's what they just said.
The second cannot come back.
If you bring him in the fourth quarter,
yeah.
then you can bring back Marino and Kuza.
Okay.
We got change for a quarter.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Bernie. Thanks a lot.
Let's
nice game last night, Bernie. Wasn't your fault.
Good morning, guys.
Hello, sir.
Oh, that guy. Humming.
Yeah.
Listen, I got a legal question here.
You've come to the right place.
Since the takeover, who's the property of my number now?
You got to have it recertified in the afternoon.
So, I have to call back?
Oh, yeah, they're going to start all over again. They'll kill the first 2 months.
You'll have 30 days to call back in and validate, and then any numbers that are left over, we're just going to reassign them.
What if all the numbers...
We're going to have them distributed through the banks to everybody's account.
What if all the numbers get together and have a class action suit?
Be still my heart. One could only hope.
No.
We'll join you. How's that? We'll give ourselves numbers, and we'll be in there.
Okay, well, I'll call back with a new number. But it won't be the same.
No, you
can't.
Not
like the first number.
What is your number now?
294.
It's your number forever.
Well, be sure and call up Steve Nichol this Sunday morning on the PD show and wish him good luck.
I can have a
in his
first
new
number
endeavors.
and a last number, like a first and a last name.
See ya.
Let's go to, man, oh, man.
So he's going to make that big decision, huh? Nothing like cutting things a little close. That's what I told the Moyle when I was born. Nothing like cutting it real close, pal.
Adam, you going to answer any of these, or will this
just
go through?
grab one. Just grab one. Forget about it. Quit bitching Adam out of the way. But no wonder Marvin hates you.
Dade.
Looking out through the morning rain.
Like you said, I guess you were right. Let's go to another Dade. Hello.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Right.
I have a bank horror story for you. When I worked for the federal government,
we don't have any time.
I'll
tell you what, hold
on,
you got
another one.
Because you're going to have more bank stories than you can use, and I'm sure you'll be welcome with yours. Stay right there. It starts at 10:05. Just find something to do for about 8 minutes.
Find something to do for 8 minutes?
Just hold on and find something.
Find something. Can I at least have a number?
Yes, you may.
Sure. What's your name?
Ann with an E.
720.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Don't go away, Ann.
Okay, thanks, Neil.
Put Ann on hold, please. Please.
Okay, yeah. It's 9:57.3 in front of 10 o'clock at WIOD, and I want to...
Ann, ever been there?
Tell you about Web 2000. Are you stuck in traffic with your internet service provider? Worried about your clients, prospects not being able to access your website? Real audio sound like crap? Well, then get in the fast lane with Web 2000. None of that's going to happen with WEM. Web 2000 can get you up and cruising for only $20 a month with that 28A modem. We've talked about this before. Services like AOL can cost you $150,000, $300,000 a day. Stop getting taken by those other online services who charge by the hour. Your 28A modem, unlimited $20 a month. Now, ISDN, let's talk big boy stuff or big girl stuff. Web 2000 can get you up and running on that for as little as $30 a month, and it's 5 times faster than the 28A modem. How about if you're a business owner? Yes, you a business owner? Web 2000 specializes in turnkey network solutions. It means you sit down, you turn the key, and voila, it's working like magic. ISDN, frame relay, T1, their specialty. You don't have to know what they are. Web 2000 knows what they are. You just get to use them. Let Web 2000 show you how to get them. What am I saying? Exactly. Thank you. Hamantashen. At 1-800-949-4NET. That's Web 2000, 1-800-949-4NET. Adios.
We're a ghost.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
She looked like a lady. Walked like a lady.
Yes, I am.
Talked like a lady, but I got wise. There's a dip between her thighs. Oh, yes, there is a dip between her thighs. Ooh. You showered me with kisses. I thought you were my queen, but I noticed something funny. I saw the bulge in your jeans. She looked like a lady. Looked like a lady. Walked like a lady. Walked like a lady. Talked like a lady, but I got wise. There's a dip between her thighs. Oh, yes, there is a dip between her thighs. You were my perfect lover, but how I was surprised. Not only do you have one, but you're not circumcised. She looked like a lady. Looked like a lady. Walked like a lady. Walked like a lady. Talked like a lady, but I got wise. Boy! There's a dip between her thighs. Oh, yes, there is a dip between her thighs.
Okay, that's not about Bernie Kosar, by the way. It's 10:08 at WIOD. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Tough game last night. Tough game. And let me say it again. I'm seeing a little bit of some of the stuff we've seen in the past. Neurotic repetition over and over and over again. Danny gets hurt. We bring in Bernie, who just came from the girls' school. And they're starting to blitz on every play. How come it is that the Colts kept running the draw play over and over and over and over again last night? And anytime they felt like it, they'd pick up 10, 15, 12 yards over and over again. I don't think we stopped their draw play once last night. And yet, in the fourth quarter, when we're still miraculously still in the game, in spite of the fact that Nudnik missed another field goal, we're still in the game. And Bernie's back there getting creamed. I mean, they're blitzing. They're coming in on him. He hasn't got a chance. They're turning him into a Thanksgiving wishbone. And we don't do anything different. Nothing. We don't run a draw play. We don't throw a little screen pass, except there at the end, which Abdul Schwartz there, Kareem says, oops, sorry. It hit him in a bad place, as usual, and that would have been the first down. And who knows, they might still be playing at this point. But it's one of those things. It was a tough night, but sooner or later we were going to lose one, and that damn Jim Harbaugh had to be the one to beat us. Boy, he makes me sick to my stomach. I just get, oh, God, do I hate him. Is this Ann still on here by any chance? Hello?
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
It still is Ann. Well, thank God I remembered.
Thank you. I have a bank horror story for you.
Yeah.
Back several years ago when I was working for the federal courts, I was a student employee, so I was considered self-employed. So I had to pay my income tax quarterly.
Right.
Well, I went ahead and got my income tax return in. I was supposed to get back a little over $1,000. I get my income tax check back, my refund check back, and it's $400 and some odd cents, you know. And so I went back to my tax people, H&R Block. And I said to him, what's the problem? Well, the lady looked back over my checks, and it turns out that my bank had only paid the government, where they were supposed to pay him $756, they only paid the government $156.
Nice, only $600 short.
Right, so they $600 short of the government. Well, the government made up for it out of my income refund, so no problem with that. I went to the bank the next day, and I said to them, look, all I want from you is a letter stating that this was not my screw-up, it was yours, the check was plainly written, it was legible, there was no questions of it. Just go ahead and get me this letter, so if I get audited, it's not, you know, I'm not responsible for this, it was your screw-up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no problem. So I deposited my income tax check that day. A few days later, I'm in the bank with my mom, and I said to her, look, I'm going to put in a few dollars so I get it up over, my balance up over $500 to draw some interest. And she said, okay. So I'm in line, and I asked the lady, I don't know what made me ask the lady for a balance when she did the deposit.
Yeah.
She said, you still owe us $104. And I went, what? They heard me all over the bank. What turned out is that the bank, without my knowledge or my permission, withdrew $600 from my checking account and sent it to the federal government.
Unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
Which bank was this?
Citibank. I will gladly tell the world it was Citibank.
I think you left the H out.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
A few weeks later, I get my $600 plus interest back from the federal government.
Yeah.
Which is great. Ask me, did I ever get a letter of apology or a we're sorry or anything from the bank? The answer to the question is no, I did not.
Unbelievable.
Nice.
But they did, I think they saved themselves a lawsuit. They didn't charge me a service charge for like 2 years. So I kind of lucked out.
They all suck. They all suck. It's hopeless. It's hopeless. When I finish this story up from what happened yesterday, it's going to make the previous days seem like child's play. It's unbelievable.
I was ready to call in.
I mean, I'm sitting there looking on their computer screen while they're back in the room hocking a chinik with each other, trying to save puss. And I'm looking, I can see like 16 lines, from the ledger on my account. 4 of them are mistakes. Now, if they made 4 mistakes in one account in 16 lines, you can imagine, multiply it times the thousands and thousands of customers they have in this one branch, times the millions of customers they have around the country, and it's a nice way to make a living,
It's no wonder they're the biggest bank.
Right. That's what I said. I said, boy, I'm in the wrong racket. I'd be buying up all the other banks, too, if I was ripping everybody off like this.
It's Jesse James isn't dead. He's gone into the banking business.
Okay, sweetheart. I'll see you in Rayford.
Take care, Neil.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, we're all going to jail because the banks are going to put us there. This story yesterday. And I sure hope that my good friend Kimberly is back from Yom Kippur yesterday. I hope she didn't eat anything because she has a lot to be forgiven for, I'll tell you that. These nudniks over there at Haitian's Bank. Oh, the story gets even better. It's 12 minutes after 10 at WIOD.
How long has it been since radio's bad boys were on the air in South Florida? Too long. And that's why they're back. Ron and Ron, mornings, Monday, September 30th on News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.
No solamente es Hank Goldberg, también es un hipopótamo.
Okay, 1016 at WIOD. Thanks to Lynn at Kaiser and Blair Inc. And they make T-shirts and caps and all kinds of good stuff. She sends me a lovely T-shirt. Thank you, Lynn. It says Hurricane Tracking Chart. And it's in orange and green, no less. Isn't that interesting? As in hurricane colors. And it's got a map of... what is the map of? Is it a map of Miami? Is it a map of the world? It's just a general map. And it shows Miami, and it's got all the various hurricanes who've had suspensions and gone to jail and are awaiting suspended indefinitely. Here's one, pending, no contest. And here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the front. And on the back, I hadn't even seen the back yet. On the back it says, dedicated to Hurricane Center terms: tropical storm, hurricane watch, hurricane warning, misdemeanor, felony, probation, domestic violence, bad publicity, no contest, suspension, NCAA investigation, scholarship reduction.
Oh!
All right. Thank you, Lynn. Beautiful. I'll wear it with the great pride. So anyway, getting back to this thing yesterday at the bank. So after my 4-hour tirade yesterday, I go over there, I drive into the bank, I walk in the door, I sit down, I put my name. You know how they have the little... thing there, the clipboard, and you may put your name on the list to see somebody who's a hotshot. So I put my name on the list, and I'm sitting there a couple of minutes, and I noticed that people are looking like the tellers are looking at each other very kind of like tense, and there's almost nobody in there, damn it, so I couldn't put on a big show and jump up and down. And so eventually this guy, who's a very nice guy, who's there only from another branch, filling in, I guess, for Kimberly yesterday because it was Yom Kippur, and guys like this Orthodox jackass that called before, that low-life scumbag that called Rick, they were like busy fasting and whatever and getting upset because I was making fun of it. So anyway, Kimberly wasn't there. So this guy's sitting in. So he asks what he can do for me and ba-ba-ba, and I tell him, and I've got this check, and they bounce the check and yada yada, whatever else, and what's the problem here? So now the head teller, my good friend Gidget, comes over. Gidget goes Hawaiian. And we start looking at the problem, and of course they know there's an ongoing problem, and they know that there's been 4 hours of vicious attacks, and rightfully so, on the air, and they're very defensive and red in the face. And we look at a computer on a computer screen. Now, meanwhile, this guy and Gidget go back into the office for a second or two to make a phone call to one of the bank hotshots that they've been on the phone with all day, I guess, to try to get this to the bottom of this mess, why they're so inept. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the computer screen, and it's got like 12 or I would say 15 lines from the ledger of this one account, of my business account. And as I'm looking at the lines, first of all, I look and here's a balance of $8,123 before the $8,000 check came in. Are you following me? $8,123 is the balance. The check is $8,000. They bounce it. There was no hold placed on the deposit. They just bounced it. Then, of course, after that, there's the $27 fee for the insufficient funds. Another mistake. That's mistake number 2. And as I'm glancing up and down this column, I see 2 of my tax payments which end in 50 cents. They're all the same every week, okay? The same amount. It ends in 50 cents to the IRS, which I make to the bank, and they pay the IRS. I see one of them on there with the 50 cents. The next 2 that are on there are like 0. Not to the next highest dollar, the next lowest dollar in the bank's. So here's $1. Now, granted, it's only $1 that's missing, which I'm not that concerned about as the 8,000. But here's another $1 just in 16 lines. Out of the 4 mistakes that I see there in the 16 lines, here's another $1 that they've ripped off from me. And they can't figure out why. Oh, I don't know where we dropped that 50 cents. And I said the 50 cents isn't really a big deal, even though the federal government might not like it too much. But when you multiply 50 cents times however many customers you people have got, it starts adding up to some serious money. So to make a long story short, after being in the bank, Gidget says, okay, do this, and this is the way we're going to solve it. We got a system set up, and see me, and I'll take care of you, We're going to have a discussion. Okay, so I go, they straighten out all the charges. It was their mistake. It's unconscionable. $123 more than the amount of the check, and they bounce the check. So I go home assuming all is right with the world, okay? I feed my dogs. I take the mail out of the mailbox. I'm sitting down going through the mail. I don't want to tell you where I was sitting going through the mail. I left the H out. That's right. I was sitting there on the throne going through the mail. That's a good place to do it, something interesting to read. And all of a sudden, wow, urgency. Really helped to speed up the process, I'll tell you that. Because here's another one of these telltale envelopes from NationsBank Regional Center in Tampa. I said, oh, wait a minute. This can't be. Because I've had them reinstore, put the $8,000 back in my personal account when I was in the bank. But in the meantime, too late. I opened this up, and on your personal account, number so-and-so, items presented for payment on the 19th of September. Check number so-and-so. Here's 4 of them that were paid, but overdrawn, so $27 fee charged. They were nice enough to pay these small ones, but they charged me a $27 fee, which one of the checks was for like $60, but a $27 fee. Then here's another one, check number so-and-so, $600 returned, insufficient funds, another $27 fee, which happens to have been a check to Norm Kent for legal fees, my attorney. Which, thank God, it was to him and nobody else, like somebody important. So, needless to say, I'm back on the phone, and I'm now starting to get really agitated, aggravated. While I was in the bank, I mean, what's the point of screaming and yelling? It's not going to do any good. I've done 4 hours on the air. But now that I'm into this, and I'm saying, how can this be possible? How can there be so many stupid people there? And, of course, she's practically peeing in her pants because she knows that it's just, it's like the domino effect. I said, that's right, like the Fats domino effect. Just one mistake leading to another and another. And, of course, I'm the one that said, we'd be glad to write a letter to Mr. Kent. I said, yeah, right. Write a letter to Mr. Kent. Write a letter, Maria. And so this is where we are today, and they're having another meeting, and Kimberly's coming back from Yom Kippur, and I hope they have a wonderful life together. And in the meantime, I'm thinking of, as I'm driving up to the bank yesterday after doing this show, I'm thinking, naturally, I'm going to go over to that family bank and I'm going to close my account. But in the meantime, then it dawns on me, I've got thousands of checks, thousands, literally, because I got that new laser printer for my computer, thousands of checks on their bank, personalized, that I'm not going to wind up eating those. In addition to which, next week, or whenever it's going to be, eventually we're going to be paid by Paxson. We're switching over that whole system, which I don't even know how that's going to work yet. So now is probably not the most propitious and convenient time for me to be switching banks, unfortunately. So I'm sitting here still at the mercy of my good, close personal friends at NationsBank, waiting for them to see if they can get their act together. And just like Rick told that one bonehead out there who didn't want to listen, what's 50 cents? Well, if you feel like getting, maybe it's not 50 cents, maybe it's $50. Maybe it's $1 here, maybe it's $1 there, maybe in the course of a year it adds up to 100 or 200 or 500 or whatever it might be. So if you're another one of these people that trust your bank and never looks at your statements and figures, they got all their computers, everything they got to have is right. You sit there and you look at that thing and you wonder what kind of a child, what kind of a moron can look at that screen and see a check comes in to be paid for $8,000. There's $8,123. Oh, insufficient funds. Seriously, what kind of an education? You have to have a kindergarten education to get that far or what? All I can say is...
unbelievable.
Pathetic. 1024 at WIOD.
News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
Gary Bruce, tied to the track in front of a freight train.
1028 at WIOD as the beat goes on. So we're just, and you know, I was sitting there waiting for this guy to bank yesterday. I'm putting together in my mind. At first it was People's Bank of Hialeah. Then it became CNS. Or was it the other way around? Was it NCMB first?
I think NCNB and CNS coexisted, but one of them devoured the other or something.
Right, but I think it was NCNB. Boy, did I have problems with that. That's when the trouble started. Then it became CNS, and then NationsBank gobbled up CNS, and they vanished. And now we're where we are here today with NationsBank. Here's Coral Springs on the Purple Line. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing today?
Okay.
Love your show. I just wanted to, when I heard you yesterday, dog, in Haitian's Bank, I was loving it because I had problems when I first moved down here with them, and I thought I was the only one that was having problems with them.
I mean, they must hire the most stupid people on the face of the earth because the kind of mistakes that they make are just so unconscionable.
I've never had a problem with any banks before until I came down here. And,
yeah.
But what happened was my wife deposited a paycheck, and she makes pretty good money. We deposited it, and it got kicked back, okay? And they never notified us until 2 weeks later. And we ended up writing between 10 and 15 checks. They all got kicked back, and they didn't cover them, which means they charged us the fee on each check. The problem was they said it was an improper endorsement because we didn't put our account number on it.
Oh, boy.
And but we signed it.
In other words, you endorsed it, but you didn't put the account number on it?
But the thing the guy thought was wrong was they actually took the check, you know, the teller looked at it. I mean, I think it's somewhat their responsibility to make sure it's, you know, properly endorsed.
Right.
They put the money, they didn't have any holes on it, and they put the money directly into our account. So they kicked it back, and they put a hole.
But wait a minute. I don't think that the law requires you to put your check number on the back. I think that's just a procedure that some banks require. But there's no law. I mean, you just have to endorse the check. You sign it. You don't have to put your account number on the back.
Well, that's what they were saying. But the thing that got me was they, you know, 3 days later, they put a hold on our account, but they made no attempt to notify us for 2 weeks.
Right.
Which means we ended up losing. We ended up getting charged about $800 from NationsBank because of all the fees. Plus, some companies, when you get it, you know, when your check bounces, they want to charge you extra too. You know,
I mean, of course.
And so we ended up owing a lot of money, and I felt like I was lost on it. I mean, really pissed me off. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. I've had a lot of problems with the NationsBank. I just went in there, as a matter of fact, now deposited a check, and I wanted to see if a check cleared because it was actually to the IRS, unfortunately. But I went in there, and they couldn't even tell me what check number it was. They had it cleared, but on the screen it didn't have the check number on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just I've had a lot of problems with the bank myself. I thought when you were talking about NationsBank yesterday, it was a trip. So.
Well, the story gets even better now.
I know. But,
good luck, pal.
Okay, it was good talking. Have a good day.
Thanks. Yeah, it gets even better. And then, of course, from between the bank to my house, which takes about 5 or 6 minutes, it gets even more exciting as I pick up this piece of crap out of the mail. And this is just one out of maybe 15 or 20 of these episodes over the last few years, and they just never once has Kimberly Lieberman or anybody else picked up the phone, they've got my phone number, and called me and said, oh, gee, there's a problem here. We think you've got a check that is overdrawn, and do you want to come over here and straighten it out, or maybe it's our mistake or your mistake, or, you know, whatever. Never once. Because everybody is just a statistic. And all this stuff goes through Tampa, through the Regional Banking Center in Tampa, where people haven't got any idea who you are or what you are or who's on first or what's going on. All they know is that somebody put something into a computer somewhere. Some moron, somebody with a kindergarten education put something into a computer and couldn't get it straightened out. Couldn't get it right. Somebody with a mentality of a Johnny Dolan put the information into a computer and your life is hanging in the balance. I mean, we're not talking about, how many eggs you got in the refrigerator. We're talking about your money, folks. That's what we're talking about. And the way they handle it and the way they deal with it's enough to scare the living out of you. Worked for me yesterday, fine. So that might be a good addendum to the Atkins. You know what? If you're having a little bit of trouble moving your bowels when you're on the Atkins because it's a little bit binding, just start banking at NationsBank. You'll be crapping your brains out. Here's a lady in Boca. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have a banking story from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was a weekend, and I decided that I wanted to eat, so I went to the ATM machine.
Well, you got some
out.
nerve.
Yeah, it's terrible, huh? So the thing came back. I wanted to withdraw from my checking rate, and it came back insufficient funds in the receipt. And I said, what? Because I know there's enough money in there. So I did a balance check. Okay, now listen to this. It said that my checking account was overdrawn by $1,760,000 and like 43 cents.
Hey, listen, if you're going to screw off, at least do it big time.
Right.
That's the way to do it.
So then I checked my savings account, and that was fine, okay? Yet, when I tried to withdraw from it, it wouldn't let me, okay? So Monday comes, I go to the bank. At the time, it was First Union, which had just taken over Southeast.
Right.
Right? So I go there, and I explain the situation to them, and I said, I'd like to take some money out. I'm getting hungry, No, we can't do it. Your account is frozen. Okay? Now, to make the long story short, it took me 2 weeks to straighten it out, okay? In order to get access to my account, I needed a letter of authorization from so-and-so and such up in North Carolina or whatever. They had to present the letter to the teller and have her call him and all this other crap. I couldn't believe it. For 2 weeks, they wouldn't even let me touch my savings account, which had the correct balance.
So, in other words, some bozo punched in a whole bunch of extra zeros on something, and it took 2 weeks out of your life.
Right.
I don't know what the law is on this, but it sounds to me like somebody ought to be suing the crap out of these banks.
Yeah, and did you ever hear, I think it's SunBank, I don't want to say the wrong bank, blah, blah, blah. But,
SunBank or SunTrust?
It happened when it was SunBank.
Okay.
Okay. There was an article in the paper about how, all right, let's say you have $400 in your account, right? You write a check, or they say you have $400 in your account. You write a check for $410, say, and then a check for $100, okay? Now, let's say the check for $100 comes through the bank first, okay?
Right.
They are supposed to process that check first because they get the check first, right? Now, if they want to, and this is what I believe SunBank got into trouble for, right? Let's say a check that comes in around this, like on the same day but later, okay, if that check will cause the other check to bounce, they will process that check first so that they can incur a bounce check fee on you for 2 checks.
Right, get that $27 or whatever it is,
and
right.
That guy who says he never checks his bank statement,
right.
He is a psychopath because, see, a lot of people don't realize that banks are profit-making institutions. They're not non-profit service organizations. Forget it. They're a bunch of vultures.
Right, they're there to rip us off whenever they can get away with it.
Right, and then a while after this happened, I pulled out of First Union, right, and I wanted to open an account, unfortunately, at NationsBank because they were right up the street. Okay, they opened a new office, blah, blah. I go up there, right, and I had, at the time, something happened, right, it was a good thing, anyway, I had $25,000 to open an account with, right?
Yeah.
They would not take my money, and I said, why? Okay, it turned out to be to my benefit because I went somewhere else, right?
Yeah,
because of
you
this
bet.
fiasco with First Union. Okay, somewhere in the process, I ended up owing First Union $11 that I hadn't paid because I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
And this $11 thing is all over on my credit report.
Oh, when you've only got
blah, blah, blah.
when you've only got $25,000, why should they expect you're going to be able to pay the $11? That's
exactly.
right.
So I just couldn't believe it. It was just so absurd. I felt like I was going nuts, or I don't know. But anyway, that's my story.
Like you said yourself, you lucked out.
Yeah.
In the long run, you were way ahead of the game.
Right. So
okay, don't do it again, sweetheart.
No.
Okay.
Good luck to everybody.
Good luck.
Bye.
The beat goes on, baby. It just goes on and on and on, and just stupid, idiotic, pathetic mistakes. Can't we just set up a system like you know what's going on? Oh, we can't do that because we don't know what's going on. And by the way, you know that the one with the green hair and the purple eyes that just came, she's only here for like 2 hours and she'll never be here again, and she doesn't know who you are. So be sure and put your penis imprint on the check so she has some idea it's small. She'll know it's you. We have an open line in Dade, 751. We got 2 in Broward, 524, and 2 on the green lines, 1-800-OY-VASMIR. Nobody cares about that game last night, huh? I still say we could have used a little. And, of course, we still got Gary Stevens there, who's still as offensive as ever. That was Jimmy's, I think, biggest mistake. I have no idea. Maybe Gary's got the pictures. Maybe that's what it's all about. But, boy, you talk about a disaster. The running game ain't working. Bernie is getting creamed, and we just keep doing the same thing. He drops back 3 or 4 yards and just gets blasted over and over and over again. Nice finish. And we're still in the game. That's the thing. Otherwise, you'd have said, okay, go to bed early, forget about it. We just got bombed. Danny got hurt, and he'll be back in a couple of weeks. We got the bye next week. We'll be okay. But we still had a chance to pull that baby out. And I just didn't see too much original, too much exciting, too much innovative, too much... and I still would have liked to have seen that pockmarked kid in there in the fourth quarter. Put that Craig Erickson in there. So what if he was the worst lay that broad ever had? Big deal. We don't care about that. That's not what Bernie said. 1038 at WIOD.
Expressed by the host, guest, or callers on WIOD are not necessarily those of the station or its sponsors. All WIOD programs are copyright 1996 by WIOD Incorporated. No tape recordings or transcripts may be created or distributed without prior written consent of WIOD Incorporated.
Sweet liquor eases the pain.
Let's have a drink.
Tuna Taco! New from the B & Company, it's the Tuna Taco!
I love tuna taco.
Yes, people across the world are coming out of the closet to enjoy a Tuna Taco!
I love sliding my tongue into a tuna taco.
The B & Company goes out of its way to bring you the best in your Tuna Taco pleasure.
Dive into a tuna taco.
She likes it. Hello, I'm Les Bean, president of the B & Company, and I'm happy to present, new to your dinner table, the Seafood Tuna Taco.
My favorite is tuna taco with crab.
Oh, I bet it is. So go on down and fill up your box with Tuna Taco. Also available with cheese. Tuna Taco!
1042 at WID. George wanted to know where that drop-in just came from. As Peter North would say, I just came across it. So anyway, here's the phone number, that guy that called yesterday about the satellite thing. If you're sick and tired of this Prime 24 business where the network affiliates are trying to screw over the satellite people, there's a toll-free number. No, it's not toll-free. There's a number you can call. It is toll-free. How can 888 be toll-free? Did you know that? Well, it is. Toll-free number to find out how you can help change the current law and make sure that you keep your network affiliates from out of state, from like WRAL and WJLA or whatever that is. What is it? Whatever that one is in Washington that has ABC, as in Monday Night Football, like last night. Not that I watched it, of course, but I did. Call 1-888... Oh, please. 1-888-728-3698. These are the satellite people. Congress needs to hear from you, like, immediately so we can stop this so we don't wind up losing all of our out-of-state and out-of-town network affiliates. Otherwise, we're going to get screwed. So all you satellite people, big dish and small dish, 1-888-728-3698. We'll give it again later. Josh Moore, does that make him a mother? Played by Rachel Ward, and the two have a sex scene he describes as awesome.
Squirt, squirt.
How do you like that? When I got the job, I immediately went out and read it against all odds to study Rachel's work, especially in the bedroom, he says. I'm going to be very fully prepared and very fully packed. Okay, here's, now what is that? Why? Why in the middle of what's going on here, you put a call on from Minneapolis, okay? Hello?
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Not much.
Hey, I used to live in Florida.
Yeah?
And, I moved up here.
Yeah, well, you're going to be freezing your ass off pretty soon.
I know. We had a good summer, but it's coming to a close rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother told me about the Atkins diet.
Yeah.
So I went out and I checked out the book.
Yeah.
And in 3 months, I was able to lose 77 pounds.
Oh, Jesus, 77 pounds.
I was a blown-up, retarded-looking blimp.
Yeah.
And now I'm svelte and got people saying hi to me and treating me like a real person.
Like a human being, yeah.
Yep, it's unbelievable.
That's so my impact here has been all the way from the Keys to Minneapolis.
I'm telling
with
you.
the Atkins, great.
I tried, over 11 years, I tried everything that came down the pike and nothing works.
Yeah.
And just to walk, I walk down the street and I see people that are fat and I'm just like thinking, you've been fed a bunch of lies. If they just knew about this diet, they could just, change their life.
Right.
It's incredible.
All these people that are running and buying the fat-free donuts and blowing up like a giant balloon.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I miss you.
Fantastic, man. Keep up the great work.
All right. Can I say hello, although it's probably prohibited by FCC?
Yeah, go ahead, even though we'll bleep it out. Yeah.
Mungbag.
Who?
Mungbag Kevin.
Oh.
You remember Chronic Kevin? That's my brother. And then there's Scoobs, and there's Steve.
And,
sure. And Stoney.
All those
you
guys,
guys.
yeah.
I know they're all listening.
Okay, pal. Have a great
I love
life.
You, Neil.
Good luck. We have an open line in Broward. How do you like that? They're losing it in Minneapolis. Are they shouting in Minneapolis yet? Are they shouting in Atlanta? So here's somebody, speaking of the Atkins, John in Delray Beach sends me a thing from, what is this? From FAA, not the airline people. By the way, speaking of the airline people, Robert Francis, I think you're a liar. Food Addicts Anonymous is this FAA, and it has a thing about sugar, an incredible addictive thing, and this is a guide to abstinence from sugar and all this other bull crap. And I'm looking through, and it's pretty boring, to be honest with you, John. It's really terminal. Oh, I see. This is an organization where it's like a real thing. I thought it was like a put-on. This is a real group. This is like, what's that other one that they have? The Anonymous?
Chubby Checkers?
Yeah, Chubby Checkers, right. Oh, give me a break. No, it's for fat birds. It's called Chubby Peckers, for fat chickens. No, seriously, what's the Dieters, Overeaters Anonymous? That's the other one. But this is Food Addicts Anonymous, FAA, and it's a group to, help you get off the sugar and all the carbohydrates you're addicted. I don't care what anybody says. It's not a debatable point. It's a fact. It's a fact, man. It's addictive. And if you want to deny it, be in denial, okay? We'll pack you a sandwich and bring you flowers. 1047 at WIOD.
When we say Dolphins on radio, we mean Semper and Mad Dog.
He's in for a touchdown! It's a score by the Dolphins! All right!
Turn down the TV sound and crank up the Dolphins on the only radio station you remember when the Dolphins play. News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
1051 at WIOD. Somebody named Billy, who's out of state, so he can't hear me anyway. It says, as a former student, a listener, whatever the hell it says, for 30 years he lived in Florida. He's moved to New Mexico, and he sends me the Santa Fe New Mexican from Thursday, September 19th. And the front page story is about this former Archbishop Robert Sanchez, who says, I didn't know abuse was a crime. This is the most unbelievable pile of crap. And this also, I want to dedicate this story to that Orthodox or whatever, that frum Jew that called before on Rick and Suds that was so upset because I don't respect his archaic beliefs. Revelations included in the 700-page document say former Archbishop Sanchez says he thought that in theological terms, abuse of children is less grave than abortion or striking a priest. He did not consider a priest who had fathered a child and been treated for alcoholism a threat and allowed him to return to parish work. He was unaware of any extensive and continued damage that a child might suffer from sexual abuse. He never thought of initiating extensive investigations into sexual abuse by priests because he didn't want to divide congregations. He also said that in one case, an investigation of abuse was left to a priest who had also been accused of improprieties. Here's the best line of all. He said he didn't know until the late 1980s, more than a decade after allegations of child abuse by priests first came to his attention, that molesting children is a crime. I certainly had no idea that I had any obligation to bring that type of offense against the person of the authorities, he said. He also revealed that he had sexual activity during the 19 years he served as archbishop. He resigned in 1993 after 3 women publicly accused him of having sexual relationships with them. And it goes on and on and on. But this is the best. He had no idea he had any obligation to bring it to the authorities or that it was a crime. Molesting children. Of course not, Papa. No problem.
Father O'Toole, God.
Here's a lady in Weston. Hello. Lady in Weston.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Neil, hi, how you doing?
Okay.
I'd like to have the opportunity to turn your mind around about banking. I'm calling from Family Bank.
Okay, but let me just say this to you, okay? I appreciate what you're saying, but I mentioned this before. You probably didn't hear it. I have, unfortunately, thousands of checks printed up for my laser printer and my computer that have, my account number and this bank and all of this other. I'm locked into them until it's ready for me to get out. You know what I'm saying?
Neil, if you switch to us,
yeah,
we'll give you checks. Your first order of checks, like the ones you have, are going to be free.
Right.
And we'll give you great service.
Okay.
We're completely different from the big banks.
I'm easy.
You can come into our office.
I mean, I can't
in
be
Weston.
In Weston. Why do I have to go to Weston? I can go right at Sunrise and Flamingo.
You can go there, but we'd like you to come here because we listen to you.
Right.
And we're
But I don't want to come there. I mean, don't take it personal, but I mean,
we're going to give you that order of checks for free. I'm not taking it personally.
Right.
You can come in here any day, talk to our branch manager, our assistant branch manager. You can sit down, open an account with me.
Right.
You can have coffee every single day.
I don't drink coffee.
Well, you
gives
can
me
have
the squirts.
What?
It gives me the squirts. I can't drink coffee.
Well, you can come in and talk to people who like their job. We love our bank. And you're really shortchanging yourself by not dealing with Family Bank.
Okay. Well, I'll put you on hold. Maybe you can tell George who I go see at the one at Sunrise and Flamingo, because that's right by my house. It's so convenient that I can't pass it up.
Uh-huh. Why don't you just open your account here? You can do business there.
Yeah.
Come on, Neil.
Where are you in Weston?
We're right south of Arvida Parkway.
Oh, south of Arvida Parkway.
Right off of I-75. We're
Yeah.
a little bit south of where Arvida Parkway crosses over Weston Road.
Oh, my God.
2630 Weston Road.
Yeah.
We're a great branch. We have a wonderful staff that loves to take care of their customers. We're completely different from the banks you're used to.
Okay, hang on, and maybe George will take the info, okay?
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, line 6, take her stuff down, and maybe I'll take a bus to Arvida. Oh, God, you know how far that is? At least 10 minutes. We have an open line on the purple line, pound IOD, mobile one, cell AT&T wireless. We have one on the green line. I want out. I want out of NationsBank. It wasn't bad enough that it was so embarrassing that it was not just another hold. We've already had all the holds on the account in the past. That wasn't bad enough. But now we got guess what? It was our mistake. You had more than enough to cover the check. Somebody just decided to bounce it. And now you got other checks in your personal account bouncing. And they didn't understand my panic and my apprehension as to, you've screwed me with $8,000 in my personal account, and you're putting it back in there now. But what about the checks that may have come in against the earlier? Oh, well, there's nothing on there right now. And I get home, and guess what? Sure as hell was. They just didn't bother to look that far. Slipshod, unacceptable, screwing around with other people's money. Here's South Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Another bank story for you here.
All right.
This is about trying to change banks. It just seems like you could never win. Like I have a couple of small business accounts at Barnett Bank, and I always kept a minimum balance in there so I wouldn't have to pay a service fee.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I'm checking my bank statements, and I see they're hitting me up for $18 on each account. So that's like $36 a month that I'm throwing away. All of a sudden, and then I call them, and they say, well, we raised our minimum balance by $1,500 on each account. So I was shopping around for another bank to go to, and so I, by phone, I found out, which ones have a minimum balance that I can afford, to charge down everything. This one sounded great, so I go to them. It takes like an hour and a half or something sitting there, and then, going through all the paperwork and everything, and then they put my deposits in, and it's like, great, this is going to be great. I'm really glad I'm doing this. And then, after I've gone through all this paperwork and have my money in their bank, she says, by the way, we have a 30-day hold.
30 days?
30 days. All my money. They wouldn't let me touch it. It doesn't matter what I put in.
What bank was that? What bank was that?
That's called Bank United. It's like a South Miami bank.
Bank United?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
It's a bank that I don't have my money in. And so they had to give me everything back, and my checks were canceled on the back. They got all their bank.
What could possibly be the reason for holding anything for 30 days?
They say...
That's not even legal, I don't think.
They say they like to establish a relationship with their new customers.
By pissing them off before they get started, right.
I couldn't believe it.
Did they also hand you a jar of Vaseline when they told you this?
I just said, give me my money back. Just
God.
Give it back to me. And then I go back to Barnett, and I'm trying to put these checks with all the stamps on the back of them back in and say, look, this is what happened, and you can call the other bank if you want to, but I need to get this money in the bank.
Right.
And so, she says, well, what were you doing? I said, well, I was closing out my accounts here because of your service charges. They're just too high. And so, she says, well, wait just 1 minute. This is a teller. So she takes the time to go in to see the branch manager. And then they call me in and say, well, why do you want to close your accounts? And so, I tell them about the service charges. And then she says, well, this is something we don't tell most of our customers, but we have this other account where the fee's half, And
it's like the thing with the credit cards. Oh, you can get a lower rate somewhere else? Well, we'll charge you a lower interest. We can get you the same deal, right. We don't tell anybody about it, but we got the same deal. Here you go.
I can't go to a teller, though. I have to do everything. They gave me the cards to use the machine.
Yeah.
And I have to do all my deposits that way. If I ever have to go to a teller, it's like $3.95 per transaction.
You mean like to make a deposit?
Yeah, you can't do it. You got to put it in. You got to put it in the machine.
Well, what do you mean $3.95 per transaction? In other words, you're putting your money in, and they're going to charge you to do that?
Yeah. If you go to a teller.
Oh my God.
And that's the only way I can get the low rate.
Oh my God in heaven!
You can't win.
I'm going to the Wailing Wall right now.
If you find a bank, please let everybody know.
Okay.
But, I'm in South Miami. I don't know where they're.
I'm going to work on Family Bank. Okay, pal.
I hope they're
good luck to us.
Down here.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai, where's my money?
Say it like this. 610 WIOD. In Fort Lauderdale. News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio. 610 WIOD.
O'Neill, my queen. God.
When I tan, they call me melanoma. I tan until I'm almost in a coma. Hawaii, Miami, and they never ever use any sunscreen. Sun with me, tan with me. Hope you don't mind, I'm a little freckly.
We lie in the sun till we get melanoma. We bake like a bun, you can smell the aroma. Our lights are all on, but there's nobody home. Hey, melanoma!
I spend all day at work planning that when I get off I'll go tanning. I get naked and fake bake it. How much longer is my skin gonna take it? My astrologist and numerologist have to help me find a dermatologist.
We lie in the sun till we get melanoma. We bake like a bun, you can smell the aroma. Our lights are all on, but there's nobody home. Hey, melanoma! We lie in the sun till we get melanoma. We bake like a bun, you can smell the aroma. We got lumps on our skin bigger than the Metrodoma. Hey, melanoma! We don't care if we get melanoma. We got the best tan from here to Arizona. We're glad we don't have genital condyloma. Hey, melanoma!
11:06 at WIOD, and so anyway, Father O'Toole here is asked, did you know that what Jason Sigler, this is one of the child molesting priests, that what he did to the children of your parishioners was a crime? He says, I did not know it was a crime, sir. Question, so you did not feel in your own heart of hearts in 1981 that sexual molestation of a child was a crime? Answer from Father O'Toole, sir, in 1981 I did not understand that to be a crime. I considered it to be a moral infraction of his own life, and it was an offense against the child, but not a crime. Oh, my God, talk about... And, of course, this is the place... Remember the thing that 60 Minutes did a few years ago? 3-4 years ago? This is the place in New Mexico where they send all these other priests who have been diddling with kids. They send them there to, be rehabilitated. Instead of sending them to prison where they belong... or sending them to some place to really get treatment for whatever their damn problem is, they send them to this place so they can molest the kids in New Mexico. Maybe the Indians, too. And the Mexicans. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yes. Hello?
Yes, sir.
I'm calling in reference to your tirade on the banks.
Yes?
And I have... my hatred for the banks goes back to February 1st of 1965.
Hatred?
My hatred for the bank.
Yeah.
I was a newspaper reporter sent in by the sports editor to interview a guy by the name of Max Schmeling, who on June 9th, 1936, beat the living daylights
out of Joe Louis.
Of Joe Louis.
Right.
And I went through the story and so forth, and towards the end of the interview, he says to me, I'm German. He says, we fired the bullets. And he says, you Americans paid to put him in the chamber. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, I sat with Hitler for 2 years. He says Hitler would never get up from the table without laughing with those people in presence and saying, if it wasn't for the Federal Reserve System, which is our banking system, giving me $43 million, I would have never made it to power. Now, I did some research on this, and I found that the Federal Reserve was established in December of 1913. And on January of 1933, Hitler had his rear end kicked by a guy by the name of von Hindenburg.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember his blimp. It was a beautiful thing.
I don't know whether you're hearing me or not.
I hear you.
Okay. And Hitler, there were 33 million votes cast, Hitler getting only 12 million. And the result of this is that Hitler politically was out of the picture. Now, as a result of this, the bankers here in America were saying, well, since the fall of the stock market in December of 29,
Rectum.
We were 4 years into the doldrums of a depression.
Are you?
I think he's done.
Are you sure?
Positive. So anyway, we have an open line in the green line, 1-800-944-9463. Let's hear about the Trilateral Commission and the New World Order, okay? And about six-pack Schicker. Here's Tamarack. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about the game yesterday.
Okay.
On the front page of the sports, it says no Marino, no win, no victory.
Yeah.
I don't believe even with Dan, they would have won that game.
How come Jim Kelly was out of the game for Buffalo and they beat the Cowboys on Sunday?
Exactly.
I mean, you know, Danny's great and all of that, and he looked like he was really on there early in the game, although he was limping almost from the start, but he looked like his arm was really on, and I thought we were going to be in for a night. But you notice something on that first drive again? Same old crap. We get first and goal inside the 5-yard line. Field goal. Same old crap again.
That's it. And you know something? They got beat all up and down. Their offensive line got beat. Their defensive line. They went into the game, number one rush defense.
Yeah, but look who we played. Yep. Like I tried to tell people, look who we've been playing. This wasn't the Jets.
Exactly. And they had 7 starters out.
But can you figure why in that fourth quarter, after you just knew that they were going to be blitzing Bernie on every third down, and then the last few minutes on every down, why didn't we run it? One draw play. We never tried it once.
And that's all they
They were stuffing it down our throat. Every time they ran the draw, 8 yards, 10 yards, 12 yards, and we never expected it. I mean, they could do it any time they wanted.
That's all they did.
That's how they done. And even with all the injuries on their defensive line, we still couldn't run the ball. That's the thing that's scary.
It's it. All right, Neil, good talking to you.
Okay, pal.
Have a good day.
And back to you. Yeah, so we got the bye next week, then Danny will be back. He's got a twisted ankle, no need to have a panic, although I tell you, it looked pretty scary there when they had his shoe. And one other thing I don't understand. I don't want to start second-guessing Jimmy, but he ain't perfect either, okay? Especially with that hairdo. You remember when they took Marino out? And at that time, we're thinking, oh, not that Achilles tendon again. Oh, geez. And he's got his shoe off, okay? And he's over on the bench, and they're, like, massaging his foot. And they bring in the masseuse, and she's rubbing it, and his foot, too. And now they show Bernie. Now, granted, the Colts have got the ball, but Bernie is standing on a sideline talking, joking with Craig Erickson and with a couple other guys. He's got his cap on. He's not warming up his arm. He's not, like, getting ready. He's not putting the helmet on. He's not getting ready to go in there. He's just diddling around. And Deerdorf, whom I can't stand, but for once in his life, he said, you know, if there's a turnover now and the Dolphins get the ball in the next few seconds, they got no quarterback. They got nobody ready to go in there and play quarterback because Marino sure as hell can't get back in there now, no matter even if he's okay. What's he going to do, go in there with one shoe? So I don't know what they're thinking about over there, but maybe they've been at the bank too much. Maybe Jimmy's been to the bank too much, huh? That could be it. It's 12 minutes after 11 at WIOD. Some nights I go for a walk in the clouds. Others I have nightmares about reading this copy. Other nights I just die hard with a vengeance. I like to get bushwhacked with the brothers McMullen. Ever see them? Check out the Little Shop of Horrors with the Swan Princess under the Hula Moon. Or invite Mrs. Parker and the Vicious Circle over with the Hoosiers to have a bonfire of the vanities in the living room. Hey, I'm nobody's fool, but I can't wait to rock around the clock after I scream and scream again. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this copy. I'm talking about Cinemax. It's really unbelievable. It's great. Nothing but movies. If you're a Fright fan, check out Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. From Beyond the Grave and Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. Like the action flicks, tune in for Last Man Standing. Expect no mercy in The Specialist. Need a love lesson? Try Love Has Many Faces. Love is a gun and love with a proper stranger. Hey, if you've got movies on your mind, this is the place for you. Just one network you need. Cinemax, with over 250 movies showing just this month during September. Cinemax if you really are into movies. And if you're into good copy, man, forget about WIOD.
Phil Hendrie, 2 to 6 p.m. p.m. on News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio. 610 WIOD.
I just can't wait until Robert Dole loses. Yes! When the whole nation chooses. He's got a right arm that is useless. He's dumber than the Three Stooges. Gonna watch as Robert Dole loses. You might as well vote for me. You might as well vote for me. I've got no interest in politics, but Robert Dole just kinda makes me sick. Too bad there isn't someone else to pick, 'cause he reminds me of Tricky Dick. That's why I'm betting that Robert Dole loses when the whole nation chooses. A lot of people say he's ruthless. His campaign rhetoric proves it. Gonna watch as Robert Dole loses. You might as well vote for me. You might as well vote for me. I know that Clinton is an asshole, and for that matter, so is Ross Perot. But I just cannot vote for Robert Dole. Everybody says he's too old. That's why I'm telling you, Robert Dole loses when the whole nation chooses.
Are we on the air?
He's not ever gonna do it. Vote for him and you are stupid. Gonna watch as Robert Dole loses. You might as well vote for me. You might as well vote for me.
The fans beginning to boo the play selection.
11:17 at WID. I can easily understand that, especially with Bernie in there doing his side saddle routine. Boy, that's an ugly thing to watch, I'll tell you. Man, oh man, when he starts, flapping his arms like a duck, that's a really ugly thing to have to watch. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Yeah, I think that's why he wasn't so anxious to get into the game.
Yeah.
He knows that he's too slow for the NFL, man.
Yes, he is.
He wasn't a winner in Cleveland.
He
never won in the big situation.
He's as immobile as a statue.
Yeah, you see him get in the game, it's like, oh boy. Okay.
Well, wouldn't you? I mean, I'm not a big Craig Erickson.
It looks like Shula's.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Craig Erickson fan, to say the best, okay? But at least he's young and he's mobile, okay? Wouldn't you have thought there maybe in the last couple of series they might have tried sticking him in there, since they knew that the Colts were, blitzing like crazy, and they were like, and Bernie had no chance of getting away from the blitz. They might have put somebody in who might have been able to get out of the pocket and scramble a little bit and make a play.
Right. We couldn't make one short reception and any of that stuff.
And then of course, Kareem drops the screen pass. He finally gets away from the pass rush. He finally makes a nice little screen pass, and oops, there it is. That was the first down play. That would have kept the drive going. Who knows what would have happened?
Well, he was probably surprised that Bernie got it off.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's too slow. He's got to go. Sorry, man. He's just it also looked like Shula's team was back or something.
It was
We're going to try and mix it up a little on offense if nothing is working. Don't just throw your hands up and...
But we couldn't run the ball. At all. I mean, not a lick, not an inch, not at all. Nothing.
Now they're running it up the middle on us again like last year.
Right.
Too, so.
Right up the middle. Every time they wanted to. I mean, you got the feeling that any time they wanted to run the draw play, it was going to be like a shock to us, like we didn't know it was coming.
Right. But anyways...
next week we won't lose, guaranteed.
Let's try Erickson, that's all I can say.
Okay.
Later.
Thanks, pal. Yeah, next week I guarantee no Dolphin loss. I'm going to bet my life on it. We have an open line in Broward, 524, and I also guarantee you that Bernie won't be starting next Sunday. Of course, we're not playing next Sunday or Monday, thank God we got that week off to regroup and reorganize and get Danny healed up and get a new second-string quarterback. Sorry, Bernie, you're a great guy. We love Bernie. He's a really good guy, never stole a freight train. Everybody loves him, but send him back to Cleveland. He could fit in good with their team right now. Oh, they don't have one? Here's Boca. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
I wanted to tell you a bank story of all bank stories.
Uh-huh.
You think $8,000 is a lot? How'd you like to lose $540?
Nice.
1,000? 1,000.
Nice.
Get it back, though. Can't tell you the bank, not allowed to, in terms of the lawsuit settlement program.
Oh, lawsuit.
The lawsuit.
Oh, I like the sounds of that.
Make a deposit. The teller punches in 2 digits incorrect. In other words, the right number's on the back of a cashier's check, but she punches in the wrong digits.
You mean on the account number?
On the account number.
Nice.
Have a deposit ticket. The bank says the money is missing. 60 days, they're still looking for the money.
Uh-huh.
Always make a copy of your cashier's checks or your checks that you deposit from other people. Took over a year.
Oh, beautiful.
Over a year.
And you sued their ass?
It cost me, I had to pay over $100,000 in attorney's fees. I sued their ass. I got back very well. But it took a year out of my life. Okay? And it wasn't crazy and stupid, and it wasn't no care, no bother, and it wasn't NationsBank.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to say which one from California that invaded us that it was.
Okay.
But stay away from them.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Have a good day. Oh, we're going to Las Vegas now that we got the money.
Great. I hope you win millions.
We're moving there.
Oh, you're moving there.
I'm moving there. I've headed here. I've been here 20 years.
Yeah.
I've headed. We are leaving Friday morning.
Well, save some space in the trunk.
You're welcome to come.
Okay, good luck, pal.
Have a good day, Neil.
Best of luck.
Bye.
How do you like that? He hit the jackpot, all right. So just a $540,000 mistake. You think you got problems because we're dealing with really stupid, underpaid people. I'm not saying they're bad people. Some of the people are very nice. Some of the people mean well. But you know something? What do they say about the best of intentions, especially when they're dealing with your money? I don't care about good intentions. I'd like to see at least an accurate job. Don't even smile at me, okay? I don't care about that. It would be nice, but don't even worry about smiling. Just get it right. Get the numbers right. Just get it right. That's all. That's all I ask. Oh, we can't do that. I mean, you sit there and you look at that thing, and like I said, I want you to stop and try to absorb this in your mind. You're looking at 15 or 16 lines on a computer from a ledger from one account, and there are 4 mistakes out of the 16 lines. And all of them, by the way, in the bank's favor. All of them to my disturbance and discredit. So like I said, Family Bank sounds pretty interesting. Are they spelling that with a B or not? It's 10, what is it? 11:20. Oh, that's right. We're going to have to start giving West Coast time now. If we also have any spy reports about what Steve Nicol said on the air Sunday morning, since that's the only way we get to find out what he's thinking and what's going on, since he's pretty much invisible the rest of the week. I mean, that just boggles my mind. What that guy called in on Rick and Suds this morning about today is the day he's going to decide whether he's going with Paxson and Phil. We're going to be simulcasting like right off the bat before he even starts. And all this other, oh man, delusions of fantasy, visions of sugar plums. Did I say it's 11:22 at WIOD? You can't say it often enough to screw up those best of tapes.
10 WIOD.
Jim Mandich takes a snort or two after each game. I like it. I like it.
Are you gay? Are you unsure of your sexuality?
Yes.
Being gay is a full-time commitment. So before you sashay on out of the closet, pick up a copy of It's Okay to Be a Homo. It's Okay to Be a Homo is a surefire way to find out if you're gay. The book contains page after page of probing questions, like, how would you say the phrase, 7 sailors sucked slippery shafts?
7 sailors sucked slippery shafts.
Or questions like, would you rather spank a bare bottom or spank your monkey?
Oh, that's nice. What kind of question is that? I mean, if you really must know, I'm not really into cruelty to animals, well, with the exception of gerbils. So I'd rather spank a bare bottom, bitch.
No, I'm sorry, but bitch isn't until Chapter 8. Pick up a copy of It's Okay to Be a Homo.
It's Okay to Be a Homo, available at all Boys Town and Wrigleyville bookstores.
We're not talking about women.
11:27 at WIOD. We have an open line on a green line, which I'm not really sure if the green line is going to disappear after Friday or what, or who's going to disappear, to be honest with you. I was just talking with one of our account executives who's hobbling around because his colon was stuck deep inside his rectum. Something like that. I thought that's where it's supposed to be. But anyway, did you hear his story? About he had like his gallbladder out a few years ago. How could you tell? And his colon was like stuck part of it in his, I don't know, somewhere. I mean, when you're that big, it's hard to find where all the parts are anyway. So anyway, we were just commiserating over the fact that nobody knows anything at this point. But hey, come Monday, boy. Come Monday. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? I don't have a bank story for you because I have no money. But on a note on last night's game, the reason they didn't put Erickson in, he was on an inactive list. They couldn't have put him in if they wanted to.
Yes, they could.
No, from the inactive list?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes, they could. That's the thing we were talking about this morning. He was dressed, and when you have one or more of the other first 2-string quarterbacks, they could have put him in the fourth quarter. If they did put him in, he would have had to stay in, but they could have put him in.
Oh, see, I didn't realize that.
Right. It's some crazy rule that they changed 3-4 years ago, which I wasn't aware of till last night, and especially this part about if they put him in, like say in the second quarter, let's say both Kozar and Marino both got hurt, okay?
Okay.
And they put him in the second quarter, and then, one of the first two guys, shook off the injury and was able to come back. They can't put him back until the fourth quarter.
Oh.
Now, I know that sounds bizarre, but I think I see the reasoning behind it, because if at least they're going to let you dress the third-string quarterback, even though he's inactive, it's done to discourage people from, just willy-nilly using three quarterbacks. See what I'm saying?
Well, how does Pittsburgh get away with it then? With Cornell Stewart?
Yeah, but he's not on a roster as a quarterback.
Oh, okay. I see the difference.
In other words, we could put, I don't know, somebody else in there as quarterback who's not really on a roster as a quarterback. You follow what I'm saying?
Right. Now I understand.
But
okay.
in other words, Erickson is obviously listed as a quarterback and is dressed but on the inactive list for the game and can only come in case of injuries to the other two.
That means the problem still rests with Gary Stevens.
Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
I mean, I saw shades of Shula in there last night. I mean, granted, I don't want to take anything away from the Colts, but they're two defensive ends both out. They had two linebackers banged up. I mean, and we can't do anything against them. No imagination, nothing different. Straight up the middle, over and over again. And then, of course, Bernie getting buried over and over in that fourth quarter was one of the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life.
You and me both.
Right? He had less than no chance.
I felt so sorry for Bernie.
Yeah, I really did. I mean, not that he's that much of a talent, but he's a good guy. He goes out there and gives you his best, which isn't much, but he gives you his best, and he just was getting buried. I mean, they didn't give him 2 seconds of protection.
This is true. All right, Neil, take care.
Good luck to us, pal.
All righty, bye-bye.
We'll be okay. It just wasn't going to be a 16 year. We knew that. Although some of these people, Super Bowl, we beat 3 horse crap teams, and right away they're screaming Super Bowl. And I tried to tell you we're going to lose a few here and there. We'll just hope for the best. Nice catch by O.J. there, by the way. O.J. made a great catch, and McDuffie, too. Open line in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami, buenos dias.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Another bank story for you.
Yes?
If I give you a check, for argument's sake, for $20 drawn on my bank, Citibank, you decide to go and cash it over the counter, they'll only give you $15. The charge is $5 if you cash a check over a counter.
How about if the check is for $6?
Well, you get $1 back.
You get $1.
I've just called them now to confirm. Provided...
wait a minute. Probably the other $5 goes to the president of Mexico.
I don't know.
Sure. Or his brother.
You might ask them to comment on that. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Nice. $5. In other words, if I write you a check... Now, how about if it's on the same bank? How if it's the check I write is on their bank, on Citibank?
They will ask me if I'm an account holder. I don't have to prove it. If I say yes, they waive the $5 charge.
Uh-huh.
If I say no, they'll deduct $5.
Great, beautiful.
Wonderful story, huh?
Okay, I got a check for you for $5.25, pal.
Thank you.
Be right over.
Ciao.
See ya. Okay, this is just... I'm glad that this came up the last 2 days, even in a very perverse and masochistic way, because I really don't need the grief. But there are just so many nightmarish things that these bastards are doing to people, and it's, the amount of regulation that goes on. We're supposed to be being protected against all this crap. But generally speaking, they do whatever the hell they want. And so instead of holding your check for like 5 years now, they can only hold it for a year or whatever. I mean, it's just stupid. They get credit for the money immediately, and in the meantime, you sit and wait until they're good and ready to give you credit for it. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? My name is Matt, and I am the branch manager at Family Bank at Sawgrass.
Yes, sir.
One of my customers just came in here and said that the Western branch tried to Shanghai your account from me.
Yes, she did.
I just wanted to make sure that don't let them pull that crap on you. You just come right down here.
I tried to explain to her that I live right by... You're right at Sunrise and Flamingo, right?
That's right.
I could throw a gigantic brick from my house right through your window because I live that close. Not that I want to yet.
Well, I hope it doesn't come to that point. But listen, I really don't listen to you that much, but I've had the radio on here listening to you, and man, I can't believe how pissed off people are at banks.
They are, because they keep getting screwed over and over. Look, I don't need the grief. I don't need the aggravation. Sure. I'm not being a hard ass, but when they screw you over about the 10th or 15th time, and they keep making the same mistakes, I mean, your patience starts running out.
Hey, well, all I got to say is that the more these big banks keep doing that, the more this bank is going to grow and be super, because every day people are coming here saying, oh, I'm pissed at Great Western, I'm ticked off at NationsBank or Barnett, and that's the niche that we're filling out here. So I guarantee you'll be happy here, and I'm sure you'll have nothing good to say, nothing but good stuff to say.
So you're also going to give me my zillion checks free like she was going to do over at the other place?
Anything you want, man. Everything is totally free. I'll take good care of you. By the way, my mom is from Sicily, and this guy that knows you, I guess, says you're a big fan of The Godfather, and you like Italy.
Love it.
But I look forward to meeting you, man.
Okay, so I come and see you?
Yep, just ask for Matt. I'm the manager out here.
Okay, will you be there tomorrow afternoon?
I'll make a point to be here.
I will see you then.
Okay, look forward to it.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm going to go see Matt, and I'm going to shine Maud. Sorry, Maud. Matt stole you away. Well, it's just I'm lazy like most people. Plus, let's face it, when you got a bank right down the corner, you're not going to go all the way down there to, where's that place, where Goyamar in Weston? I'm not going to go down there. We have an open line in Dade, 751. We got 2 in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD, and 1 on the green line, 1-800-944-WIOD. So, based on what I just heard moments ago, I guess on Monday, we're going to find out what's going to happen on Monday. Do you know what I'm saying? In other words, people like Defo were wondering if he's still going to be with us. We don't know until Monday, till the takeover actually takes place. Who's going to be on? Who's on first? Who's going to be the program director? Who's going to be on overnight? Who's in charge? Are we getting paid? Which I could tell that story too, but I'd like to find out the answer first. I mean, that's another great. Paid. He wants to get paid. Yeah, I'd like to get paid. Like maybe once in a while would be good. That's something for us to think about. Maybe talk about. That's part of the deal. Like once in a while. 11:35 at WIOD.
WIOD.
My vagina really gets my panties in a wad.
Ladies, why spend hard-earned money on different feminine hygiene products when all you need is one?
Vag-O-Magic.
That's right. All new Vag-O-Magic is over 22 feminine hygiene products in one. Just listen. For cramps, bloating, and 12-hour freshness.
Vag-O-Magic.
For bladder infections, stretch marks, and varicose veins.
Vag-O-Magic.
For PMS and STDs, it's
Vag-O-Magic.
But wait, there's more. Vag-O-Magic is also a furniture polish, carpet deodorizer, and stain remover. Use Vag-O-Magic on your pets to control ticks and fleas. Use Vag-O-Magic as a plant food or garden mulch. Use Vag-O-Magic as a tampon or a turtle wax. Vag-O-Magic will even freshen the breath and whiten the teeth of your partner. And Mom, just sprinkle some Vag-O-Magic on that dull Monday night meatloaf, and we guarantee there won't be any leftovers.
Great Vag-O-Loaf, Mom.
Why, if we didn't have court cases pending with the FDA, we could give you literally hundreds of uses for Vag-O-Magic. Vag-O-Magic, now available in reusable 28-ounce bottles. With our patented no-slip Kung Fu grip applicator handle, Vag-O-Magic makes a great stocking stuffer, and it's now legal in 38 states at fine pharmacies, convenience stores, and auto body shops everywhere.
Vag-O-Magic.
It's just like Penn and Teller in my pants.
Vag-O-Magic. It works. Like magic.
11:38, 22 till noon at WIOD. As we continue in the dark here, we have 3 days left after today, 3 more shows, and then all of a sudden the Cox interest in this radio station. Now, that was a bad way of putting it, because Cox's interest in this radio station ended months ago. Maybe years ago. But their financial interest in the station ends as of this weekend sometime, either Friday or Monday morning or a Shavuos or whatever. And then the Paxson people will be here on Monday, and maybe we'll find out who's on first. Here's Hiley on the purple line. Hello.
Hi there, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
All right, listen, I just wanted to clarify one thing here on this quarterback issue. The one caller called up and said, hey, how's Pittsburgh doing this, with Miller and Stewart? The first game of the season, Miller and Stewart weren't putting it together. They put Tomczak in, didn't realize about the rule apparently. I believe it was the first or second quarter. The first play that Tomczak was in, he throws an interception, and the other two guys are out until...
the fourth quarter.
No, they said until overtime. And that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, and the reason is, it was the inactive type situation. You can have 3 quarterbacks if you want. That's the way I understood it. It's the inactive quarterback. You could have, you could have. You could have
3. You could have 5 quarterbacks active on a roster if you want, if they're all listed as active.
Correct. So, but it is a bizarre rule and whatnot. And I just wanted to point that out and appreciate the time and let me talk here, and enjoy your show, even whatever happens after Friday, you know. And
I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here.
You could be an easy listening station.
Okay, pal.
Take it easy.
See ya. Okay, that's it. We're going to be playing Easy Perry Como and Tony Bennett. He made a big comeback. We're going to be playing a lot of easy listening music. Peggy Lee and Sarah Vaughan. We're going to be playing some real easy music. It's going to be dreamy, and it's going to be great. Won't offend anybody. It'll be a beautiful thing. I love it. Gogi Grant, The Wayward Wind. We have an open line of songs from before you were even an idea, before you were an embryo on 610 WIOD. Open line of Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, whatever happened on Friday when you left early?
Whatever happened with what?
You were on the air for a couple hours.
I went out of town for the weekend.
Oh, you did?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because no one seemed to know what was going on, and Phil came on and did his little...
Well, see, I'll tell you what happened is that U.S. Air, which I had another good experience, I like U.S. Air. It's my second time using them, and I'm sure I'll use them again. The only thing I don't like about them is they have a habit of changing flight times, like very, very late. In other words, you may have tickets for weeks, okay, to go somewhere.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they call you, or at least they call you, which is nice, and they say, oh, guess what? You know, your flight on such and such a date, well, we just moved it up an hour.
So they just sent you running out of there to get your plane on time.
Right.
Okay. Secondly, have you been watching Chris Berman on Monday Night Halftime Highlights?
No.
Do you like Chris Berman?
Yeah, I like Chris Berman, but to me he's like a banana split. You know, once in a while one is really delicious, but too much of it is just sickeningly sweet. And Chris Berman, I think I've been over Chris Berman. You know, I'm oversaturated.
Well, I saw a very amusing quote in the paper a couple of weeks ago. A gentleman by the name of Norman Chad had written that having Chris Berman host the Monday Night Halftime Highlights is like having Father Guido Sarducci preside over Christmas Mass at the Vatican.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite appropriate.
Okay.
And for my opinion, I hope Defoe goes. I'm tired of his monologues. I'm tired of him having to use Dr. Kevorkian in every spoof of his team. I'd like to just see him go through one newscast without saying that, the Dolphin defense or Dolphin offense last night was searching for Dr. Kevorkian, and so was waiting for a call from Dr. Kevorkian.
You know what I think that is? I think that's a Steve Nicol thing. I really do, because he never used to do any of that, and I think that he's been taken under the wing of our program director, and that Steve Nicol has encouraged him to do these silly puns and all this, and just never-ending succession of those things. And I agree with you. I like Defoe much, much better before, when he was just doing the stuff and being himself and giving the information and having some fun, as opposed to trying to be a sit-down comic all the time.
Does he really write out his monologues, as you say he has done in the past? Does he sit down and have things written out, like his monologue to open?
Oh, I never said that about... Did I ever say that?
I think you've joked about it a few times.
Maybe he does. I don't know. Certainly those liners, he must write those down, because nobody could think of those.
It really sounds like it's totally scripted when he comes on the air for the first 5 or 6 minutes of the show.
Well, maybe he learned it from Mike Spindell. Have a great day, pal.
Thank you, Neil.
See ya. Okay, so Defoe's out. We have all the lines at Broward wide open. Now, what the hell just happened there? Everybody's on the way to Family Banknote out to see Matt. 524-9463, 524-WIOD, and an open line on a green line, 1-800-944. Speaking of the green line in Palm Beach, somebody also sends me a great clipping from the local news of the Palm Beach Post, September 19, which is last Thursday. Speaking of that good old-time religion, and here's a picture of this is this a public school? Maybe this is not a public school. I don't know, because I'm just reading the blurb here. It says, Green Acres, Sherry and Brian Jackson, teachers at John I. Leonard High School, which doesn't sound like a parochial school to me, joined more than 80 students at the flagpole to pray for the country in their school Wednesday before class. The third Wednesday in September was See You at the Pole Prayer Day at John I. Leonard High. See you at your pole prayer day? In a public school? Okay, whatever you say. This is America, okay? They just don't get it. They don't understand. Just leave me alone with your religion. Just put it where...
Radio stations like to show off their awards for news. But only one radio station wins the award from the only judges who count. The people who listen to the radio. Top of mind, number 1. News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio. 610 WIOD.
I want to give you a kiss.
Hey, if you're thinking of having sex without protection, you better think again.
Oh, this is making me so hot.
Me too.
Come on, let's go all the way.
Right here in the backseat of your car?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you bring any protection?
Protection?
We're not going to have sex if you didn't bring protection.
Darn.
Look, having sex without wearing a condom is like jumping out of a plane without wearing a parachute. If you're not wearing one, you ain't getting none.
I'm getting even hotter than I was last night.
Me too.
Come on, let's go all the way.
I told you, not unless you brought protection.
I did bring protection. Here.
What's that?
It's a parachute.
A parachute?
And look, it's got a reservoir tip.
That's the reserve chute.
Pull my ripcord, baby.
Pull your own ripcord, jerk.
I always end up pulling my own ripcord.
Condoms.
Geronimo!
Think of them as little parachutes for your penis.
Okay, 11:50, 10 till noon at WIOD. We got an open line at Dade. We got the purple line. What did we do? Did we, somebody fart in here real bad? That we were rolling along, singing a song, and that was like the end. All of a sudden, it's that big brick wall again. 524-9463. All the lines in Broward are wide open. Purple line, mobile one cell, AT&T wireless, pound IOD, etc. Oh, God, here we go again. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you?
Okay.
Okay, let me tell you what happened to me on Friday. I went to the bank. I deposited a check for $306. $306.
Yes.
When I got when I got my slip, I looked at it. It said $296.
What was the amount?
I deposited $306.
$306, and it was $296.
The slip is telling me $296.
Right.
So I went back inside and I said, listen, I deposited a check. Oh, the guy ready for me a long time. I said, look, let me speak to the supervisor. She came out and said, listen, I just deposited a check for $306. This thing is telling me $296. That's a nice even $10 is missing.
Right. Maybe the teller had to go to lunch. $10.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, she went back to the teller and she says, this lady said she put a check in for $306. He says, no, I don't think so. I don't make that kind of mistakes. So anyway, when he looked back on the check was for $306.
Right.
So, of course, they wrote me a letter and said they were sorry about the misunderstanding, and they credited my account back for $10.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things that happen. If I didn't go back in...
If you wouldn't have looked at the receipt, you wouldn't have even known it.
Exactly, and he would have pocketed my $10 before the day is over.
Maybe this is a scam that's going on. Maybe there are tellers. I mean, tellers are very underpaid. They work for probably less than minimum wage, and they got a first-grade education.
And many years ago, Neil, when the bank used to be AmeriFirst before Great Western...
Right, before AmeriFirst went under, right?
Yeah, I went to the bank and I deposited $60. And when I went to my car and I look at the slip, it says withdraw $60. I went back inside. This Cuban lady didn't speak no English. Finally, she got someone who could understood me because she said,
yeah, man,
I'm speaking so fast.
Right.
All right. She went to I said, ma'am, I deposited $60. This thing says I withdraw $60, and $60 is deducted from my balance. What's this? So she says, ma'am, I don't think you know what you're saying. And she went on and on. And we had a big argument. She called security and everything.
Really?
Yeah, she called security and everything, because Jamaicans, when we get upset, we raillery as hell.
Yeah, man.
And so, anyway, security says, calm down, calm down. They went to the teller. She says to the teller, do you remember this lady at your desk? I says, who wouldn't know me? I'm so tall. I'm 5'11". You should know who I am. She says, yes, I remembered her. She said, did she deposit or withdraw? She said, no, she deposited $60. The supervisor said, but her slip is saying you withdraw $60.
Oh,
and $60 has been deducted from her balance.
Uh-huh.
So she told her, she said, try not to make these mistakes anymore. But in the meantime, I would be out of $60.
Right.
Because this was cash money.
So 60 and the 10 from Friday, we're already up to 70.
Exactly. And this is going on every day.
We should buy a real nice dinner like at Ruth Chris Steakhouse for a couple of the tellers at the bank.
That's what is going on.
You're depriving starving people of some nice meals. They just want to go out on the weekend and have one good meal, that's all.
Of course. What about these people who are going senile and stuff like that? They go, they deposit the money, they believe in the banker.
Oh, especially here. Can you imagine here in Florida with all these senile old farts that we got? Oh, brother.
They take the slip and they put it in the purse and they don't look at it.
They must be salivating when they see these people come to the window.
That's right. And at the end of the day, when the money is over, they pocket it, because I used to work at the bank in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I know exactly how when you deposit your money, what goes on.
Right.
At the end of the day, they pocket that money.
Beautiful. Something, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not that the tellers aren't making much money while because every week there's different tellers.
Yeah.
It's not that they're not making a lot of money. It's just they're making so much money that they got enough to leave town at the end of a couple of weeks.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
Something is going on, Joe.
Okay.
But I better don't play with my money.
I'm getting me a new job on Monday.
Okay, Neil.
Okay, sweetheart.
Nice day.
Thanks a lot. I'm going to NationsBank. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, man.
2 open lines in Dade, 751-9463. 751, let me rip off your money. Come on. Just don't look at the receipt, all right? In fact, I won't even give you a receipt. You trust me, don't you? I'm a banker. Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
Hey, a little banking anecdote. I work in Coconut Grove, and I live in Pembroke Pines. And the place that I work at in Coconut Grove is out of state. The payroll checks come from Ohio.
Right.
And I was doing business. The place that I work had made an arrangement with a branch of this bank in Coconut Grove to cash paychecks for the employees and to handle things without putting a humongous hold on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened an account at the branch down there in Coconut Grove, and when I moved to Pembroke Pines, I just thought it would be easier to do business with the same bank by having my business at the branch in Pembroke Pines. So I go up there and I close my account in Coconut Grove, and I reopen with the same bank in Pembroke Pines, and I went in to deposit my paycheck, and like a week later, I'm bouncing checks. And I said, what's going on? Now, this is the same branch that I had actually gone in and deposited my paychecks in Pembroke Pines, and because, they could look up on their computer that there was supposed to be no hold placed on the check.
Right.
Through the branch in Coconut Grove. So, so I'm talking, I opened the account up there, and the next thing I know, they're telling me that they have to put a hold on it because it's a new account.
It's a new account?
Yeah. When I reopened my account, with the same bank.
Yeah.
When I opened it at a different branch in Pembroke Pines.
That's a good story. That's a new twist anyway.
Yeah,
That's another good angle.
They said it's a new account, and so I ended up, bouncing a bunch of checks at $29 a pop. And needless to say, I don't do business with them anymore. It is appropriate, though, that their initials are FU. I think that's interesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
And they're first in my mind.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we're coming to a halt here. I think I'm going to catch a plane at noon again today. That was a pretty good deal. I worked out really well. I think 2 hours is more than enough for this crowd. 751 WIOD in Dade, 524-9463 in Broward, 1-800-944-WIOD on a green line. If anybody out there has any good rumors about what's going to be happening here next week, we'd sure like to hear them. Or if you heard Ask the Program. Actually, we have a show called The Program Director Acts Himself. Unlike over at QAM where they have Fat Hank on there with the Ass in the Woods guy, we just have a guy come on here slightly inebriated on Sunday morning who talks to himself and writes memos on the air and talks about all this other falderall and the fact that he's going to go off to seek his fortune in L.A. and program the Phil Hendrie Show. Here's a lady in North Miami Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
Okay, let me just tell you a horror story that probably most of the public's not aware of. I went to cash my check, okay, and I got like $100 bills. So I didn't check the $100 bills. I went to another bank to deposit the $100 bills, right? My checking account. Bank teller tells me I have a counterfeit $100 bill that I got from NationsBank, right? By this time, NationsBank's already closed, and I'm crazy because I'm at $100, right? So the next morning, Saturday morning, I go in there, and I say to them, so she says to me, under normal circumstances, there's nothing we normally would do, but because we know you and you've been a customer for like 10 years, we will take the $100 bill and give you a new one, right?
Yeah.
However,
and pawn it off on somebody else.
Right. However, if I was, an average Joe off the street, they would have been out the $100.
Yeah.
Forget it. No good, right? So when you go to cash a large check and you want $100 bills, you just tell that teller to verify that those are real $100 bills, whatever they have to do, And then the same dumb bank, I'm like a schmuck, a real honest person, right? I go to the bank to get change for the store, and I get 51. So I give the lady 51. I get back to the store, I open up the pack, right? $1 on the top, the rest are 50s.
All right.
Right? Dummy me. Right?
Sounds like $2,500 to me.
Absolutely, right? Dummy me, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a nice guy, I figured, right? I go back to the bank, right? And I go to the teller, who happens to be a Haitian lady, and she still works there.
Yeah, man.
And I say to her, I think you should look at this, right? She says to me, why? I said, look at it. So she opens it up. She sees $1 on the top, and the rest in 50s.
Yeah.
Brand crisp. Do you think she said thank you? Drop dead, nothing. She said nothing to me.
Nothing?
Nothing. Not even.
And I guarantee you that she would have been responsible for it.
Absolutely.
Just like the tellers at the track. I bet you those tellers in a bank, they have to do an accounting at the end of the day, and if they're short, they got to belly up the cash.
Right. So I figure I'm a nice guy, right? And she says thank you. But the bottom line of the story is I go in the next week to the same teller to make a deposit. I'm the lady who just brought her back $2,500,
yeah.
right? She asked me for a driver's license. I went nuts.
Incredibly.
Nuts. I was at that window. I was screaming. I was like a crazy woman. I said, I'm going to come over this counter and choke you. You're asking me for a driver's license. I'm depositing my check, and I brought you back $2,500.
Saved your ass last week, and you forgot already.
Right.
Ungrateful bitch. Ungrateful sow.
Can you believe that?
Yes.
NationsBank.
Put her on a banana boat.
Absolutely.
Okay, sweetheart.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Okay, she gave back the $2,500. Bad move.
The first choice of windshield washers under I-95. WIOD, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Robert Downey Jr., just say no PSA, take 100. Action.
Hello, I'm Robert Downey Jr., and I'd like to remind kids everywhere to just say, wait, would somebody please get these squirrels out of my pants?
Don't worry, they're out. Here we go. Take 101 and action.
Hello, I'm Robert Downey Jr., and I'd like to take a moment to show you Mr. Happy. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Cut! Come on, put that thing back in your pants. Here we go. And action.
Hello, I'm Robert Downey Jr., and I'd just like to say, get these spiders off me! Ah! No!
That does it. We'll fix it in post.
Spiders! Hello, I'm Robert Downey Jr., and I'd like to remind kids everywhere to just say, no! No!
This message has been brought to you by the Council for a Drug-Free America.
Just don't do it, damn it. Anyway, it's 12:06 at WIOD. Happy Tuesday to you. We have an open line in Dade, 751. Broward has just fallen off the face of the earth. I don't know why, but it can't be all bad. 524-9463, 524-WIOD. Here's a mobile in Miami Lakes. Hello.
Just pray for it, Neil. Hey, listen, Neil, I'm calling you because I was listening to you a while ago, and there's you in your show a book on religion or something that exposes the fairy tales in the Bible, and I wanted to get the name of the book.
The name of what book?
You had talked about it about 6 months ago, a book you had read that exposed a lot of the time period of the Bible or whatnot, or do you know what I'm talking about?
Not in the least, and George has got his eyebrows...
This is the second call we've had in as many weeks about something like that.
About some book that I allegedly exposes it.
Yeah, it was about 6 or 7 months ago.
Yeah. I've read books about exposing it, but I'm not sure if it was religion.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, listen, if it comes to your mind, just mention it. I'll be listening to you all day.
Okay, pal.
All right, bye.
See ya. God bless you. Okay, we're coming down to a precious few now. We're coming down to Luis Miguel time, all right, which would be good quality time for me to go over some bank statements. We have two open lines in Dade, 751. We got all of Broward. And what can be going on up there? Yom Kippur was yesterday, man. WIOD.
Neil.
What, did it just ring?
Yeah. That guy was probably talking about Bugliosi's book, The Outrage. He said that there was a part about Christianity in that book.
Yeah. And it's not about Christianity. It's about God.
Oh, okay. Well,
the Jewish God, the Christian God, the fairy tale God, whatever God you want to call him, yeah. But that's not what the book is about. The book is about OJ.
Right. But you did talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing.
Well, maybe that's what he's thinking about. In fact, even if he doesn't care about OJ, it's worth getting the book just to go. It's about 3/4 of the way in the back of the book where he makes the very logical argument against the existence of God.
Right.
And does it very well.
Well, I just wanted to contribute something to your show there.
Thank you so much, pal.
Can I call someone a douchebag?
Yes, sir.
Chris Bonadonna, douchebag.
Oh, God. Okay.
Later.
Oh, my God. We're reduced to that, huh? That's how far we've fallen at this point. You know, it's a damn good thing that I had this contretemps with the bank, because it sure as hell killed the last show and a half, I'll tell you that. Because based on the nature of these people out there, one thing about these last few months, you know, I can always write in my memoirs, the audience sure didn't let us down after the Cox people let us just float off into oblivion. The audience really was there to support us and lend their tangible support. Not. Wow. It's been swell. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I think the book the guy's talking about, in the name it has something like about Calcutta.
Oh, Calcutta.
No, I don't know if it's Calcutta. But
Calcutta?
Right.
Yeah.
That was it. You talked about it about 3-4 months ago.
The name of the book had something to do with Calcutta?
Yes. And it's from a real major author that you're always talking about. But for the life of me, I cannot remember the guy's name. But he's it's a very famous guy, very famous author.
Yeah.
But the name of this particular book It's something Calcutta. That's as much as I can remember.
Something Calcutta?
Right, but I don't remember what the something part is.
It couldn't be. Oh, could it?
It could be, but I'm not sure.
I don't think so. No.
What I have
Okay, well, listen, you gave us half a loaf. That's a good start.
Let me give you a bank horror story, okay?
Okay.
Barnett Bank. Since I know that your friend in the morning was bragging about Barnett.
Listen, as soon as Rick Riley said Barnett Bank, I crossed him off my list.
That has to be, by far, one of the worst. I'll try to make this brief.
Yeah.
Several months ago, I had a similar problem of what you had. I deposited a cashier's check from another bank in Miami. Okay, they placed a hold against the item. Okay, I was not notified that they had placed a hold. I wrote some checks against it. Of course, they bounced.
Right.
To make the long story short, after all of that got clarified and the bank admitted to their problem and what have you, and letters were written, the whole 9 yards, of course, the return checks were reported to the credit bureau. So I go ahead and I had lost my ATM card with Barnett. I requested a replacement. Guess what? They denied my request for an ATM card because my credit report showed the return checks
that they bounced.
Because of their own flaw.
Nice.
So when are you opening the account?
Oh, God. Unbelievable.
Okay, and I'll tell you this. It took me, let's say we're in September, I just got finally the replacement of the ATM card, about 3 months of correspondence exchange, time wasted at the main branch. I talked to everybody and their mother at that branch to finally get this situation clarified, that those checks, and I had to produce their letters, copies of the NSS checks, copy of the deposit, copy of the cashier's check, the whole story, because, of course, the blame is always on the customer.
Oh, sure. We're always the ones that are in error, and we're always the deadbeats, and we're always trying to pull a fast one. We're always trying to spend money that we don't really have. Right.
No, the attitude that I was given with this, they really, and I have a very short fuse. I have very little patience for that kind of attitude. And I used to work in banking a long time ago. I started out in that business as a teller, okay? But the attitude that they gave me, I mean, I felt like a deadbeat. I said, oh, man, that's it. I mean, I'm out of here. I'm never even... An ATM, this is not a credit card, an ATM card. My question to them was, so what you're telling me is, regardless of that it was your fault, what you're telling me is that I cannot be granted a card
so in other words,
my own money?
You're telling me that they send this information into the credit agency that they screw up your credit, that you're a deadbeat and you're bouncing checks, even though it's their mistake?
Absolutely. And then when I asked for an ATM card, not a Visa card, an ATM card
to get your own money out, right, or put it in.
We can't give you one because your credit is messed up because of these 3 bounce checks. Guess who made those checks bounce, you idiot?
You know, the word firebomb comes to mind.
Comes to mind.
Pipe bomb.
I thought about it.
Unbelievable.
All right, Neil.
Okay, see you in Calcutta.
All right.
All right. 2 open lines in Dade. Calcutta, huh? Okay, whatever he says. Maybe he's thinking of Miami. He's got it confused. Or Beirut. 751-9463, 751-WIOD. It's 12:13 on a beautiful Tuesday, man. The sun is shining somewhere. The sun...
Fact. Always happy to promote the brand new morning show. You're going to love these guys. They're the best in the world.
Wait till we tell you who they are. Go ahead.
I can't think of their names. Fran and Ronnie. Ronnie McDonald. Walking with Chang. Hey, they're good.
All right, then.
Rick and Suds, 6 to 10 a.m. mornings. For a couple of more days. On News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.
Where's my meat?
So you think he really will be smarter in the afternoon or what? 1217 at WIOD. We got 48 open lines in Dade, 122 in Broward. We're making a little comeback here. Not too good. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Great.
Good. Listen, forget about bank horror stories. I got a Cox Broadcasting horror story.
Oh!
I'm telling you, they're trying to get as much money out of that station as they can, and they don't care who they alienate. I was listening, I watched the game, and then I turned on IOD and heard Jim Mandich with the Locker Room Show.
I want to give you a kiss.
Yeah, but then after that, after the dog drawn, I was looking forward to talking to the game. I was, I had a few, beers during the game. So I thought, all right, I'll call up and we'll talk football until I fall asleep.
Yeah.
And they kept going, stay tuned for Sports Talk with Kimbo Camper. So they play about 10 commercials.
Yeah.
Then they go, next, Kim Camper, one of the killer bees. And they play about 5 more commercials. Stay tuned for Sports Talk.
Right.
And then after all these commercials, guess what they have on? Some syndicated national sports show talking about some other game and some other team.
You mean Kimba never came on?
Never.
Why would that be? It wasn't a real... The game ended like before midnight.
I know. He never came on.
Maybe he wasn't there. Maybe he was. Maybe he and Nicol went out and got blitzed.
But the thing is, they played all these
blitz.
They knew he wasn't there.
Huh?
They put all the commercials for the hour on in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, that. Well,
without a program.
Let me say it to you. Wait a minute. Haven't you heard me say that the last several months now? As long as we get the spots in, they don't care.
Right.
In other words, I could take off every day.
No, but they suckered me, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they suckered me big time because I thought Kim is going to be on it and he's going to tell us that things only Kim can tell us.
Right.
You know? Because Kim's gotten pretty good lately.
Oh, has he really?
Yeah.
Boy, I haven't noticed that.
Well, he hasn't been stumbling over his own sentences.
That's good. Maybe we can let him do the news.
DeForest lately. It just rolls off his tongue.
Oh, in other words, he's doing all kinds of cute little limericks and cliches and puns and stuff.
He'll talk for 5 minutes without answering you.
Great.
But anyways, how's that? Now, how about Bernie's feet? How big are they? Are they size 18 or 20? Because he trips over them. He wasn't getting sacked. He was tripping over his own feet.
I do know that Bernie has said to a lot of guys, ever see a guy with big feet like this, does that tell you what you need to know? Do you know what I'm saying?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's crazy.
He waddles like a chicken in heat.
It was the saddest thing. He looked like an ugly duckling.
Right, exactly. Right.
It was ridiculous.
I feel sorry for us.
I wanted Erickson in, and I didn't know they couldn't put him in, or Jimmy. I would have put him in.
He could have put him in the fourth quarter. I'm going to say it again. Even with all the bad zits, I'd have put that kid in there in a heartbeat and said, okay, they're going to be after you like stink on stuff.
He's a good quarterback, Erickson is.
He's had his moments, and at least he's got some experience, and he's not
some... Could he have done any worse than Bernie?
I think he's better than Bernie.
The only thing Bernie didn't do was throw an interception.
Right. Yeah,
but,
he did. You know, they went on a great length. They went on a great length about his great experience when he ate the ball at one of the 85 times he got sacked. You know, and he didn't just throw it away and get it picked off.
Listen, he lost 2 games last year.
Right.
You know, I mean, give me a break. The guy sucks.
I think he's got the pictures. I think Bernie and Gary Stevens have the pictures, if you ask me.
Well, I like them, you know. And what about Deerdorf and Gifford? They're talking about stupid stuff having nothing to do with the game. It was a good game, and they're acting like it was a snorer.
Yeah, but you got to admit, for a guy who's been embalmed 6 times, Gifford don't look too bad.
Oh God, they got to get some young blood in there, man.
Yeah, exactly.
They got to put like Jon Stewart there or something from MTV.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Could he do worse?
Or John Tesh.
John Tesh?
That'll put you to sleep.
John Tesh.
Okay, pal. Kimba sends you a big kiss. Okay, we have an open line on the blue line, 524. So he's got a Cox Broadcasting horror story. How do you like that? As we once again lured the audience down the garden path. Just like last Friday when at noon you thought, oh, he's there today. We're having a show. And he's, surprise, come noon, it's the best of. Well, hey, I had to catch a plane. I'm not going to go losing all that money on airline tickets that I buy way ahead of time or change all my plans just to be here. They don't care. They don't give a damn. Steve Nichol may have turned his head like Linda Blair and spun it around a couple times to impress George that I'm a pain in the ass, but we don't really care about that either. Because we don't know if he's even going to be here at this point. He's like doing all the formatics, and he's negotiating with this one and negotiating with that one. But in the meantime, I guess D-Day has arrived, or may arrive or may not arrive, okay? We don't know. I'm still waiting for phone calls. I just had a phone call with Norm Kent, by the way, apologizing for that check bouncing, and he said, well, guess what? And he started telling me all these horror stories about NationsBank that made me feel very good about the fact that I'm going to be saying goodbye to NationsBank, as in probably tomorrow and when all those checks clear. I mean, just take a look, George. Just take a look at you can see it from there, okay? The list, returned, or overdrawn, over fee charge, insufficient fund, and it's all their mistake. And at least I'll say one thing for them. At least it's a new mistake. It's not just another, we put a hold on it when we weren't supposed to. It's just we just screwed up. We bounced the check when you had more than enough to cover it. That's the thing these people kept looking at yesterday. We kept looking at the screen over and over again, like, are we missing something over here? And even after they took out the $27 bogus fee for bouncing the check, there was still more than $100 more than enough to cover the check. Hey, don't confuse us with the facts, okay? Smarty pants. I think it's time for people to start suing the crap out of the banks. Lawsuit comes to mind immediately. 1222 at WIOD.
News Talk and Entertainment Radio.
News Talk and Entertainment Radio.
610 WIOD.
I looked up Heine's.
We apologize. We'll never do it again.
Introducing a whole new kind of tampon from Paytex.
If you're like me, you want a tampon with a cardboard applicator, but it's got to be comfortable. That's why I use new Paytex Silk Glide tampons with an improved applicator that's even easier to use. It just feels better. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're a guy. Why would you need to wear a tampon in the first place? Well, let's just say you don't want to know. And for those heavy flow days, I use Paytex Silk Glide Plus. Now, again, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what flow? And once again, you really don't want to know.
New Paytex Silk Glide tampons. Strong enough for a woman, but made for a man. Trust us, you don't want to know.
1226 at WIOD. We have an open line at Dade. 751-9463. 751. In fact, we got a new banking show on the weekend coming up. It's called Bounce This. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
Here's the essence of today. Every time you rip a part of the society down here or a segment of something, people are falling all over themselves to try and call up and defend what you're ripping, saying you're wrong, you made a mistake. Today, from the banks, nothing. Not a teller. No one has called to say you're wrong.
And how about 4 hours yesterday?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on.
Because
you don't have enough time in a day to listen to all the stories.
Because it's indefensible. While I was on the phone with Norm Kent telling him about how they bounced the check I wrote to him, he starts telling me about a guy who canceled who's like a multi-millionaire who yanked $20 million out of NationsBank because he was fed up with their bullcrap.
Yeah, he yanked it, all right.
He yanked it, that's right.
See you later.
Okay, pal. I think Norm was the one who yanked it. Okay, we have an open line in Dade, 751. We got one in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD. I mean, you're putting tons of money. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars through this financial institution every year. You might as well be a turd on toast, man, for all they care. They don't care. And they sure put a big act on for you when they know you're going to go on the radio and slam them again for 4 more hours the next day, which I have, and deservedly so, because when I went home afterward, I get this other bunch of crap. You just keep getting these notices, and they're it's like never a phone call. Never somebody saying, gee, I think we got a problem here. Maybe it's you slipped up on your math, or maybe we slipped up over here. But never. No, just get the fees in there. Just put the charges on there. Just do your thing on your computer, and just life keeps going on, and hope you don't find out and get pissed off. Right, Kimberly? Here's Oakland Park on the Purple Line. Hello.
Hi, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I've got one for you. I get a check from First Nationwide Bank in Tamarack, right?
Yeah.
And I called to verify funds. So I called the bank, and they says, you have to call a 1-900 number to verify funds. And I said, at 1-900, it says, yeah, there's a charge. And I said, well, thank you very much.
You have to call. Wait a minute. You have to pay a charge to verify your balance?
No. I received a check from a customer who has a check at
I see what you're saying.
Bank.
In other words, to verify that the check is
I called
good.
to verify funds. They tell me I got to call a 1-900 number.
Yeah.
So.
Well, sure. You're not the customer of the bank, so they're going to rip you off naturally.
Right. So, all right. I got another one. I get a check from a customer at First Union. I go to cash it. Since I don't have since I don't have an account there, they make me put my fingerprint on the check before I cash it.
A fingerprint?
A fingerprint like.
Did they put a number across your chest and take a photo?
No. Just
the fingerprint.
Just the fingerprint.
Unbelievable.
Okay, and I got a third one.
I would have told them to stick their thumb in their
rectum.
Right.
I got a third one. A check card.
Yeah.
I go buy a pair of sunglasses, $150.
Yeah.
They run the card through. It doesn't register, so they run it again, right? Apparently, the card went through twice.
$300.
So there's $300 worth of charges.
Right.
So instead of taking $150 out, there's $300. So that makes 4 or 5 of my checks bounce. So I call them up and said, listen, the charges went through twice. And they say, listen, that's not our fault. So I had about $125 worth of bounce check charges because my card went through twice.
Well, you sound like a perfect candidate. Call up Dial a Mattress, man. Get a big one. And a mattress, too.
Stand online at
let the cashier hear them whine.
I was in front of you, dear.
Boy! If you're young, you lose. I've got the Tamarack blues. All I heard today was,
hey, get the hell out of my way.
Get up over here. Free pineapple scraps.
I got the Tamarack blues.
Calling number 41.
41 over here.
What do you mean? I'm 41.
You're crazy. I've got documentation. Get out of here, you slut. 41. Get out of here. I'll kill you, son of a bitch.
So take a tip from me, my friend. If your life is near the end, between Commercial and West McNabb, you'll get the Tamarack blues.
All right, 10:30 somewhere, maybe in Nova Scotia. 12:31 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade, 751-9463, 751-WIOD, and one in Broward. Of course, we probably have some listeners out there who are rather amazed that here it is like 3 days before the sale of the radio station goes through, and we still haven't put the pieces of the puzzle together. We still don't know who's on first. We know Ron and Ron start Monday morning, okay? Notice that Rick's been doing everything in his power to denigrate them and to make sure that he can help them fail. See, it's always going to be that way. It's always going to be that kind of ego thing. In other words, if you go in the morning and you flop, and then you go back to the afternoon and have a chance to succeed again, that isn't sufficient. It's very important that they do real bad number in the morning to make you feel better. Right, Rick? Okay, we have an open line in Broward, 524-9463, 524. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a horror story to tell you.
A horror story?
A horror story.
Okay.
A friend of mine got $1,000 from a savings and loan. And when they handed her she asked specifically for $100 bills because she was going up to the Indians to play the machines.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave her 10 $100 bills in one of their little envelopes and gave it back to her. So she puts the envelope in her purse, goes to the machines. When she gets there, they have people walk around and make change for you. So she hands the guy a $100 bill.
Counterfeit.
Yeah, but you don't know what happened. He takes the bill, gives her the change, comes back 10 minutes later and says, "Come with me." She says, "What's the problem?" He says, "Well, the bill you gave me is no good." She says, "Well, here." She says, "I just got them from the bank." She says, "Give me back that bill and I'll give you another one." She gives him another one. It's counterfeit. They take her in a room. Now, at the Seminole Indians, it's freezing in there.
Beat the crap out of her, right? They take her in a meat locker and beat the crap out of her.
No, it's a meat locker.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. They're interrogating her. The manager, the casino's in there, the security's in there.
Right.
10 minutes later, who shows up? 5 Secret Service agents.
Oh!
This is unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is just a normal lady. You know, this is not
just
anybody.
a normal counterfeiting lady, right?
So they said to her, "Can we search your purse?" She said, "Of course." So they go through her purse. They said, "Can we search your car?" She said, "Absolutely. You're going to find a printing press under the front seat." They searched her car. They didn't find anything. They searched her purse. They kept her there for 5 hours.
Nice.
In this freezing, cold room. She had to go get an attorney the next day, and I don't know what the outcome is because everything is kind of in limbo right now. But they confiscated $300 bills from her that were counterfeit. She went back to the bank the next day and explained to them that they gave her $100 bills. She showed them the envelope, everything. They said, "Well, you could have switched the bills after you left the window."
Right.
So they're not owning up to it.
So in other words, they're saying that they didn't give her the... Now, what bank was this?
It was it's a savings and loan, Savings of America.
Oh.
Unbelievable. So she's out $300.
From what I've heard the last 2 days, it sounds like our banking institutions in South Florida are handing out lots and lots of counterfeit.
So anyway, I went to the bank today. And
lots and lots of counterfeit.
I cashed a $200 check today, and I asked for 50s and 20s. And I said to the girl, before she gave me the envelope, I said, "Do you check your bills before you hand them out?" She says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I want to be sure you're not giving me counterfeit bills." She got very annoyed.
Really?
Yes, she got real annoyed. I said, "Look, lady, I'm not taking these bills from you. Do you have the pen that checks them?" And she says, "No, we don't do that here." That was at Barnett.
Uh-huh. Like
so I purposely didn't get hundreds because I didn't want to be stuck with 100 count. I thought the new hundreds couldn't be counterfeited, but I don't know. It's crazy. I think your next project is to write a book, and I want you to document all these horror stories from the bank.
We could write an encyclopedia.
I'm serious.
Okay.
I think it would be very interesting.
Okay, I'll see you at bingo.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, pawn off those counterfeits to the Indians. Okay, it'll get even with all those cancer sticks they're peddling to the white man. We have an open line in Dade, 7519463, one in Broward, 524. How's Six-Pack doing? It's 12:35 at WIOD.
To protect your amateur status, you'll get no pay for appearing on Neil Won't Like It, the IOD Amateur Hour. Send your tapes, impress yourself, and humiliate your family. Neil Won't Like It, Sunday night at 11 on News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD. News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.
We had that on KAT 20 years ago. 20 years. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, sure you do. Catch the Cat. And it had the big silhouette of the cat with the CBSI. 20 years ago, we had bus signs for KAT on a station that was like all dead people, and we still had promotion. How do you like that? But hey, we don't want to get started with that now because we got 3 more days. 3 more days. 3 more days. We have 2 more open lines in Dade, 7519463, 751. One thing I'll say for the Cox Broadcasting people, boy, they're consistent. They don't care about anybody. I mean about anybody. Human considerations do not cross their mind whatsoever. So if Larry Podwell is listening, if you're still like pissed off, okay, because you told them you were buying a house and they said, hey, good luck, go buy a house, and then like 2 days later they canned your ass at Christmas time, trust me when I tell you, it's not a question of if. It's a question of when you're going to get it right up the old rectum from Cox Broadcasting because they just don't care. It's like back when people were practically falling like flies in this building, which we remember like it was yesterday, when there was this corporate mung and disease in this room and in most rooms in this building because the air conditioning vents hadn't been cleaned out in 20 or 30 years.
Well, it's not economically feasible at this time.
In other words, it's not economically feasible for them to worry about whether the sanitation in this building is enough to sustain human life. That's basically what we were told in one of the most incredibly unbelievable lines in the history of the human race. It's not economically feasible at this time. In other words, don't bother us. And then our friend Barry Cohen came in here and he's still got those pictures, by the way. Remember the pictures with the mountains? Seriously, it looked like mountains of mung that they sucked out of the vents in this building. Hadn't been removed in centuries. Talk about a sick building. Talk about a sick puppy. But it fits right in with that. Hey, it's only people. We're not worried about your health because we don't give a crap if you drop dead or not. Once we have squeezed every ounce of energy out of your body, screw off. We're busy with other stuff. We got that big thing in Syracuse going now. Oh, and so anyway, we never even got into this morning, so I get the news from Rick and Suds. Wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear this. Hold on tight. WSUN in Tampa, another Cox station, and the sports station that they were simulcasting with in the same market, whatever the call letters are, WSUN is now simulcasting the, not the Coast. What's the other FM they got? Whatever it was. They're simulcasting the FM. And the sports station is now simulcasting the Coast. Music on AM. That's the ultimate desperation in Tampa with WSUN. That's Cox Broadcasting for you because, you know, that guy from the AFA, he said, David Caton said this, and he said that. Oh, okay, we'll take all our programs off the air and play some music. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Well, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
I wanted to ask you always about the bank. Why don't you open an account in a smaller bank?
I'm going to tomorrow.
Because, you know, I got a Mickey Mouse business, and my accounts are overdrawn 5, 10, 20,000. They give you a call, you know. You're coming in, they say, yeah, you come in, you take care of it.
Right. I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm going to Family Bank tomorrow, and I'm opening an account. I'm going to tell NationsBank to blow it out their ass.
You got to talk to an officer, and that's it. They'll fix you right up.
Right.
Okay, man.
I'm doing it.
And one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever tried to take back a counterfeit that the bank gave you?
No, but I just...
They look at you like you're crazy.
Exactly, like
there ain't no way in hell they're going to give up that dollar.
And you know something? They're probably printing it on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, pal.
Take it easy.
Good luck to us. Yeah, as a matter of fact, every now and then you do see them dart into those little rooms, especially in that area where the drive-thru is, you know, behind the counters, where the tellers hang out. And there are those rooms off to the side. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the printing presses are. There's probably like 20s, 50s, and 100s going in there like a mile a minute. Oh, excuse me a second. We just ran out of paper in the, out of ink. Here's Sweetwater. Hello. Sweetwater. Going once. Going twice. Arrivederci. Okay, probably some spick. 2 open lines in Dade, 751-9463, 751-WIOD. Here's Palm Beach. Hello. Palm Beach.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's about time I got through here.
Yeah, about time.
Great. Hey, I got a sports question for you.
Yeah.
You're the only guy in town that knows anything.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay, say the Dolphins are on the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
It's second down.
That means they're not going to score.
Right. The team
Maybe
stops.
a field goal, but he'll probably miss it. Yeah?
Yeah, right. Well, this is what this is about. Okay, they bring in that, what was his name, Nettie? Okay, he kicks
Nudnik.
it long.
His name is Joe Nudnik.
Whatever his name was.
Nudnik, yeah.
Okay, he kicks it into the audience. You know, he doesn't even...
Into the audience?
Forget it. Yeah, whatever you call it.
Into the crowd, yeah.
Now, that was second down. Does he get to kick it again?
Of course not.
Why?
Well, what do you mean, why? You just gave up the ball. The ball is in a crowd. That's it.
You sure?
On second down?
Yeah.
Of course
you
I'm...
get to kick it on third
Huh?
down. You get to kick it again.
On third down?
On third down. It's only third down.
No way. Not on second down.
Well, there's $5 out the window. How about I got one more.
Well, I've never heard of that before. I never even thought about that on second down because, first of all, unless it was right at the end of the game, why would you do that anyway?
Just hypothetically. I mean, you get to kick it again.
You do.
If you miss it on third down, you get to kick it on fourth down.
If you miss it on third down, you get to kick it on fourth down? Since when?
If you don't kick it, if the ball doesn't land in the playing field, it just goes into the crowd. It does, you're just no good. You're like that guy in Miami. You keep kicking it wide right.
Yeah.
You get the ball back. You get to kick it again.
I don't think so.
Well, you've got to find out.
We'll find out for you, okay, from somebody. I've never even thought about it.
Okay. Do we have time for one more question here?
If it's as good as that one, no chance. Okay, we have 2 open lines on the green lines, 1-800-944-9463, 1-800-944-WIOD. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Neil. I just want to tell you, I've had some dealings with the same bank that branch you're talking about, the same person.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
You don't
it really is awful.
You don't mean Haitian's Bank, do you?
Yeah, with Kimberly.
A disaster.
A disaster.
A mitigated disaster.
This is a government account. It's awful, and we have changed.
Uh-huh.
But personally, I deal with Family Bank in Weston, and Ed and Maud over there. I mean, they really do treat you as family. It's great. I'm sure the Sunrise will do the same thing.
Oh yeah, they will.
But
Believe
it's a great
Matt
bank.
will treat me like a member of the family, or else. Okay.
He will.
And you heard what he said. We got it on the tape. He said, "Whatever you want, it's free."
That's right.
Free money, free checking, free booze, free whatever you want.
Yeah, but you'll love them. You'll love them.
I hope you're right.
Oh, you will.
Because this other
you're
thing,
not a number there. They really treat you as a person.
But you know something? You know what bothers me is that I'm not a number anymore at the other place either. They all know me, and they still can't get it right, and they still won't even give me the courtesy of calling and saying, "Oops, there's a problem here."
Yeah.
Because they got so many fingers in the pot over there. It's like Cox Broadcasting. They got so many straw bosses running around here. Nobody has any answers because everybody's got a title.
Yeah, you're right. But Ed and Maud, they'll call.
Ed and Maud and Matt.
Yep.
Okay, sweetheart.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Okay, Family Bank. Let's give them a big boost, and then after they screw up, then we'll rip them. We have an open line in Broward. No, seriously, I mean, they're going out on a limb. They probably can survive without my business, but the fact is they're going to do a good job. They're going to bend over backward, which is more than I can say for the other place because they're too busy taking off for Yom Kippur. Oh, brother, I mean, just... here's another list of some more charges, by the way. Here's a fee, there's another one over here. It's a miracle anybody's got any cash left in any of their accounts after all the bogus fees they keep deducting in there. Just keep yanking it out, okay? The money's in there. Just keep diddling with it. 1247 at WIOD. If you're tired of diddling with it, if you want to put something really spectacular and satisfying in your puss, then Mike's Cigars is where you'll find it. That's right. They got Denim in Darks, Denim in Lights. They've got Fonsecas made in La República Dominicana. They got Henry Winterman's made in Holland, no less, by a bunch of Dutch people. They got La Primadora made in Honduras. They probably got a few prima donnas over there, too. They got Macanudos, one of the world's most popular and famous. They got Monte Cruz made in La República Dominicana. They got Padron made in Nicaragua by a bunch of illegal aliens. They got great cigars from all over the world at Mike's Cigars, over 1,000 different brands. They got Partagas. They got their own house brand, Licenciados. If If you love a great cigar, and even more women now are puffing on a big one and a cigar, too. That's right. It's become the in thing. Everybody is puffing on it. Because, first of all, it doesn't kill you as fast as cigarettes.
When we say Dolphins on radio, we mean Semper and Mad Dog.
He's in for a touchdown! It's a score by the Dolphins! All right!
Turn down the TV sound and crank up the Dolphins on the only radio station you remember when the Dolphins play. News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
Too much Brian Norcross. Oh!
Man, they got boners like you wouldn't believe, man. I mean, Don No and Norcross, all these news anchors. I mean,
Guess what, honey? I've got a big surprise for you.
Really? What is it? A new car?
No.
A birthday present?
No.
Then what is it?
I have syphilis.
Got penicillin. Brought to you by the National Venereal Disease Board and this radio station.
Okay, 1250 at WIOD. We have a mobile in Hialeah waiting. Hello. Yes, sir.
How you doing? I have a NationsBank horror story.
Okay.
Can I share it with you?
Yeah, man.
Okay. First of all, you cannot get a regular checking account if you have bad credit. Did you know that?
You can't get a regular checking account if you have bad credit.
Right.
What does that mean? What kind of account is it?
Here's the story. I go in to open up an account.
Yeah.
I give them my paycheck to open the account, to deposit, to open the checking account. Okay. 3 or 4 days later, I get a letter from El Presidente of NationsBank. Said, we regret to inform you we have to decline your application for a regular checking account due to your credit history.
Yeah.
This is after I spent 2 hours in the bank just trying to open up the stinking checking account. They didn't tell me that while I was sitting there filling out, giving them all the information.
So what happened?
So I go back to the bank. I demand my money. They say, I can't give you the money. I have to wait till the check clears. True story.
Because you're a deadbeat,
and,
right?
Exactly, right. So I had a few problems a few years ago. But anyway, I had to raise hell just to get my money that they weren't going to let me keep in their bank.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that story. I wrote them a nasty letter, and thank God for NationsBank.
Yeah, amen.
Amen.
Okay, pal.
Take care, Neil.
Just say goodbye. Just don't do it. If you're thinking about opening up an account there, just don't do it. That's my best advice based on personal grief and sores like you wouldn't believe. And how come I did have all those stupid checks made up? Well, see, the first thing is I made up a bunch of checks for my old printer, so I've got like 2,000 of those. And then all of a sudden I decided, well, this laser printer is really a hell of a lot better. I'm going to put that on there. And it is a lot better, and I like the way it looks better and all that other. So I got 2,000 more of those checks. So I got 4,000 checks sitting there on NationsBank for my laser printer that are going to be worthless now. So I'm sure that Matt will, provide with no problem at all 4,000 checks. Exactly. And probably $100 in cash and a couple of good cigars. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, commenting about the question about if you kick it on the second down,
right,
you get to kick it again. Number one, it's a dumb question. And number two, once you kick the ball or you elect to kick the ball for unknown reasons, you give up possession.
That's what I told a guy.
It doesn't make sense. You would only do it if you got a few seconds left on the clock and, you get the ball, say, wherever you want to place it, and it's second down, then you would go, you just don't have enough time to kick it again. That would be the only time.
Unless there was a penalty. It was the only way you get to kick it again.
Yeah.
There's a penalty
once you kick the ball, that's it.
Right. That's what I mean, it seems very basic. And then the guy kept insisting, and that's why I got, dumbfounded, because once you kick the ball away, you don't have possession of it anymore. What difference does it make if it goes in the crowd, in the back of the end zone, up Uranus, or whatever? It's not your ball anymore.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if he attempts it and slips and falls on his can, and that's it. I mean, you change possession. Once you elect to do it, that's it.
Okay.
It's a do-or-die situation.
So the guy lost $5. All right.
Oh!
That's the best part of the news.
That's right.
Okay, thanks, pal.
Thanks.
Okay, we have two open lines on the green lines, 1-800-944-9463, 1-800-944-WIOD.
Oh!
Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
This be Tupac. I be making money, white honky.
All right. Have a good time with it. Hey, listen, take it to NationsBank. Take it in a wheelbarrow to NationsBank, pal. Two open lines, one in Broward and one on the green line, 524-9463 in Broward, 524-WIOD. Here's Fort Lauderdale on the purple line. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Family Bank would have been my second choice.
Okay.
My first choice is Equitable Bank. They're a small little bank. I think they'll have 3 branches.
Yeah.
One in North Miami Beach and one in University in Broward. I don't know if that's too far east for you.
University in Broward, that's not too bad.
Right in the corner there.
Yeah, I know where it is.
And they're just, I'm a small contractor. They know my name. You got a problem? Hey, you got to come in and cover that check by 1 o'clock. No bounce checks, none of that crap. And I've been with them 5-6 years. I would never, ever go with a big bank.
Yeah. No, listen, if they're treating you well, why would you change?
Worse than that is most of the banks are not even Florida-based, so all the money, is going to support some out-of-town bank.
Right.
Anyway,
okay, pal.
That's my 2 cents.
Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Open line on the purple line, pound IOD. So anyway, to make a long story short, when they get too big for their britches, although I'll be honest with you, even before they got this big, they still stunk the joint out, and they still kept making these same stupid mistakes, and they still kept changing the tellers every 5 minutes. And again, I'm not saying that it's, there's some good people in there. There are people who mean well. There's some nice people, and then there's some stupid people, and there's some incompetent people. But it's just, when you're dealing with your money, you're just not going to take pot luck and a bunch of stories like, oh, yeah, give us another chance. You've had more chances than Carter's got pills, okay? And I was as stupid as I am and lazy, again, there's that word lazy, but having had all those other checks made up, I thought to myself, well, I'm stuck now anyway for quite a while with all those thousands of checks. And now that I'm eventually going to get paid by Paxson sooner or later, somehow, some way, maybe, that we're just making this transition, would not be the best time to be changing banks anyway. Actually, it would be the best time. This would be a good time to do it when you come right down to it. And then, of course, maybe there'll be something about direct deposit. I'm going to say, I don't want no direct deposit, okay? I don't want direct deposit. I want my check in my hand. I want to look at it. I want to see it. I want to have tangible evidence of how much it is. I want to take it and put it in there myself. I want to stick it right in there. I want the receipt for it. I want to be able to write out to do my stuff, as opposed to letting other people do your stuff for you. Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
All right, Neil, let me set you straight on the can you kick it again question.
Yeah.
The guy loses the $5, but here's the story. Once you kick it, you can't re-kick it, but you can attempt to kick and not kick it and redo it. For example, let's say it's the end of, let's say you're in overtime and you're going to win with a field goal, and you're down on the 10-yard line and it's 3rd down.
You can do a fake.
You line up for a field goal.
Yeah.
On 3rd down, because if for some reason the guy muffs the snap and it goes over the guy's head and then they just have to fall on it, it's still their ball, 4th down, and now they can attempt the field goal again. So if you haven't kicked it yet, you can re-kick it. It would only come up
that's because you still have possession, though.
Exactly. So
in other words,
that's why you would try to do it on 2nd or 3rd down.
If it's a bad snap and the holder recovers and gets tackled, now if you did that on 3rd down, now it becomes 4th down, but you still have possession of the ball.
Exactly. But this
guy's talking about
ball,
right.
If you line up and kick the ball, you can't kick it again.
Of course not. Once you kick it away, that's what I tried to tell the guy, very matter-of-factly. And it's like, how come you can't? If it goes in the crowd, what difference does it make where it goes?
It doesn't make any difference. But you can attempt to punt, or you can. Well, it only comes up with a field goal. You can attempt to make a field goal on 2nd or 3rd down. Muff the snap, never kick it, line up again, and kick it again from 10 yards further back.
Right, I think muff is the word.
Muff.
Okay, pal, thanks. Okay, we have 2 open lines in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD. So what are we going to do about this Nudnik kid, huh? What are we going to do about him? What did I tell you about Stoyanovich? And it was money. Everybody now says, yeah, it was money. Even though Pete took less, they didn't want to pay out that, but this kid works cheap. So big deal. He kicks. See, one thing I don't care about this kicking the ball off deep. If you have confidence in your defense, whether the other team starts on the 20-yard line or the 27 or 30-yard line really shouldn't make all that much difference. But when you have no confidence that the guy's even going to make extra points, much less the field goals, and the first one that he did make, by the way, just got inside that upright, I got no confidence in Joe Nudnik. I'm sorry. I'll take the guy who puts the points on the board, thank you. And as far as the extra 5 or 6 yards on a kickoff, big deal if you got some defense. Here's a mobile in Davie. Hello.
Yeah, he's a 50% kicker in college, and that's exactly what he is now
He
after
sucks.
4 games.
He sucks, okay?
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm Pete Stojanovich's brother-in-law. And I can't believe what they did.
The biggest insult is they just gave him away.
Yeah.
They gave him to Kansas City for like an 85th round draft choice.
For what, a 5th round draft pick?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I love Pete.
Well, that's because they know he's going to go to the Pro Bowl this year because they're all going to be voting for him.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot.
Tell him we wish him well.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Pete Stoyanovich is God. Yeah, he missed a few here and there the last couple of years. Big deal. Everybody misses him sooner or later. But I got news for you. When the money is on the line, if there was a 52-yarder like that one yesterday, I guarantee you Pete would have stuck it right through there. And the ball, too.
Say it like this. 610 WIOD.
Oh, baby.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale. News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD. The 1 to 2 hour.
The makers of Pectate Diarrhea Relief Formula introduce long-lasting Pectate suppositories.
Honey, are you okay?
Oh, it's this darn diarrhea.
Try new Pectate suppositories. I put some in the medicine cabinet.
Suppositories, huh?
Pectate suppositories go right to the seat of the problem for instant relief that lasts for days, if not years.
Honey, why is there a tennis ball in the medicine cabinet?
That's not a tennis ball. That's a suppository.
What?
The package says it has unique blocking action to stop diarrhea fast.
Yeah, for a horse, maybe.
Just try it.
Okay. Wow!
How's it feel?
Like a tennis ball. Jeez, how long does it take for this thing to dissolve?
Oh, it doesn't dissolve. It just sits there.
What?
Blocking.
Oh, God.
New Pectate suppositories with unique blocking action. And for really severe diarrhea, try Pectate extra large suppositories with a patented football shape.
Okay, 106 at WIOD. Maybe that's what the Dolphins could use, some more runs blocking. We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD. Nice catch, by the way, Kareem. Hold the Kareem, please. Oops, there it goes. Bernie finally gets away from these bastards just one time with like a couple minutes left in the game. We have one last dying gasp on our own, like 15, 17-yard line, wherever the hell it is. One time he gets away and throws a nice little screen pass, a lovely little pass, as Harry Neal would say. Oops, it's on the ground. There goes that Lou Alcindor again. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil, mobile
Yes, sir.
on my own dime.
All right.
Tomorrow, I tell Bell South to go screw you. I'm going to AT&T Wireless. Hello?
Why do you want to do that?
What, to tell Bell South to go screw themselves?
Yeah. Why don't you want to go to Mobile One if you want the best deal? What the hell do you want AT&T for?
Well, that's where I work at. They got a good deal. So that's even better. But I was
No,
going to
it's not even better.
Okay.
Whatever you say.
Have you seen the Inside Sports for this month?
The what?
Inside Sports magazine.
What the hell is that?
I think you would love this caption and the.
But what is that? That's not another one of these flunky local sports magazines,
Yeah,
is
it
it?
But they got a thing about the hurricanes on there.
The what?
Hurricanes.
Yeah.
It's you'd love the caption. It's just like school. Eat together.
Okay.
Sleep.
Oh, God. Thank God he's changing his thing there, huh? Too bad he's not going to Mobile One and getting the real deal. Open line and Dade, 751-2 in Brown. Thanks again to, what's her name? What the hell was her name? I threw the card out. Whatever your name was, Laura?
Kaiser and Blair Incorporated.
What was it?
Kaiser
what was
and Blair
her name? Oh, you didn't put it down, huh?
No.
Ah, jeez. I got to look in a wastebasket for that card again? I mean, I don't want to sound ungrateful because it's a really beautiful, neat thing, and there was like 400 of her business cards in there, and I appreciate it very much, but I can't find her card. Well, she knows. Thank you. I think it was Laura. So anyway, it's the hurricane tracking chart. It's got pictures here on the map of all the hurricanes, or at least some of them. They don't have room for all of them. The ones who've been either suspended or pending or this or that, and it's a beautiful thing. And on the back it says, dedicated to... What does that say on the back? Oh, I didn't even see this. Dedicated to Reinstate You. That's the new name for University of Miami. Reinstate You. Oh! And how about those Coonhuskers that got beat on the weekend, too? God, was that beautiful. Arizona State exacting a slice of revenge for the 77 points that the Coonhuskers ran up on them last year with their semi-pro football team and trouncing them 19-0, which may not sound like a trouncing, but from all accounts, they stuck it to them. All right, Arizona State. Oh! What is that? What's all that distortion on there now? Are you hearing that?
That's not from the computer, is it?
From the computer?
The hotkey, or is that a cart?
Carts.
Could it be the pot?
Oh! Oh!
Oh! Let's just keep doing that. One more time.
Oh!
It's the pot.
We don't have a pot to kiss in. How do you like that? Which pot? It's 2 pots. Oh, jeez. It's Roosevelt pots.
Oh!
What?
Diddle with the volume, the gain on that pot.
How do I know which one it is? There's 2 different pots. I'm diddling, okay?
Oh!
Ooh. Okay, listen, don't worry about it now, okay? We're only going to be here, another 5-10 years in this building before we move over to that brand new Paxson thing, which they're thinking about building someday? When they worry about getting my paycheck situation straightened out and taking a look at what real life is all about, then they can start worrying about building some buildings. Anyway, let's go to Miami Beach. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
How we doing?
Great.
First-time caller, but I've been listening to you off and on for years. Talking about the counterfeit bills, it's very interesting. Basically, when you deal with any bank, they all end up screwing you one way or another sooner or later.
Yeah.
But the basic rule is caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. Let the customer beware. And banks basically the second lowest profession, tax collectors being the lowest. And really, if you want to know about your money, all of it's counterfeit because none of it's backed up by gold.
Okay, thank you so much. We have an open line in Dade. Get that guy together with that other one that was talking about the Federal Reserve, and we'll have a match made in heaven. Open line in Dade County, 751 WIOD, 2 in Broward, 524-9463. 524, get out the gold, okay? Let's go for the gold and go for the gusto and have a couple of drinks and cut the crap. 11 after 1 at WIOD.
Aw, Mom, Raisin Bran again?
Same old, same old. Maybe it's time you gave your kids something different for breakfast. The cereal imported from the former Czech Republic.
Serve Crunchies! All right, Mom!
Serve Crunchies. Your kids will love the taste and the fun, searching through the light, crispy flakes for mass burials of crunchy nuts.
Here they are!
Serve Crunchies. There's even a board game on the back of the box.
Hey, you can't land there. That's my UN safe haven.
Serve Crunchies. Look for Radovan Karadzic on the box.
114 at WIOD. That pot, by the way, is to Bruchen, George, cart number 5. Put it on the thing there. We'll see if they respond to our 85th discrepancy. We'll see if in these final 3 days the Cox people have any pride left whatsoever, which we seriously doubt since they don't give a crap. Here's Boca on the purple line. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I heard somebody speaking before about NationsBank, and they really pissed me off. My wife and I moved down to Florida, and we went to transfer our account into NationsBank.
Yeah.
And we made a sizable deposit, and all of a sudden, about 2 weeks later, they told us that they found some derogatory information on a credit report, and they didn't want to. They
didn't want your business.
They didn't want our business. Anyway.
They wanted to give you the business.
Well, they gave me the business, and we found out we were dealing with a bunch of goyim up in Washington somewhere.
Yeah.
And what happened was they didn't want to refund the funds because they said it's going to take 30 days for an out-of-town check to clear. And
30 days, and like somebody is going to believe that, okay? In 30 days, you could take the check and walk it up to that bank out of town and cash it, and walk back again and still have days left over.
Well, I called the Civil Liberties Union, and this is the only
The Civil Liberties Union?
That's correct. And they said that's discrimination, and it's against all federal laws to be discriminatory. You're not applying for credit. You're only opening a checking account.
Right.
And the checking account is only with your funds.
Right.
And they have no right. They have no right to do it. If you had an account in there and you had problems, then they have a right to ask you to leave the bank.
Right.
But not on a new account. And if more people would write letters into Washington to the Federal Reserve.
No, I think if more people would stop doing business with folks like that and start doing business with smaller banks, then we'd all get along a lot better.
It really is disgusting. And I'm in a nice bank down here in Florida, and it's a pleasure dealing with them.
Thank God.
But NationsBank, I don't think anybody should put $1 of their money in that bank.
I'm taking it out. When in doubt, I'm moving out.
Hey, you got the right idea.
Okay, pal.
Keep up the good work.
Happy Sukkot.
Okay, you too.
Bye. Open line on the purple line, pound IOD. We got one in Dade. We got one in Broward. We got one over here. We got one over there. We got one in this bank. We got one on that. We got Boardwalk, Park Place. Oh, man. See, this is what happens when you get a monopoly. That's where the Boardwalk and the Park Place come in. It's a big, gigantic monopoly. It's like a gigantic octopus whose testicles and tentacles are grabbing up everybody in all directions. And if you don't like the way they do business, too bad, because there ain't nobody else. That's what they're hoping for. That's right. And wouldn't it be great to see Citibank come tumbling down with that Mexican scandal, huh? Wouldn't that be great to see one of those big, giant octopi just take a big tumble and a big leap? Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to explain about NationsBank. I deposited funds in NationsBank a few months ago. We were on vacation. We get back from vacation. Also, we're having checks bouncing. We don't understand why. And the manager made the deposit for us. They said there was some problem with the deposit. They deducted $25,000 out of our account. To this day, they just gave it back to us, but it took like a month to get it back. They had no explanation. They don't know where it went.
Nice.
And it's like so frustrating because we deposited like on the 1st. They didn't give us credit till the 23rd, and it's our money, and the bank manager made the deposit.
Beautiful.
Nations is just one of those banks.
A nightmare, man, a nightmare waiting to happen.
Our money into the bank, they had it, they showed it, we had the slips on it, and somewhere up north, somebody deducted it out. Their computers are so hazardous now.
Yeah.
I feel that there's so much bank fraud going on.
Well, especially the people who are operating it, man. You got no idea. Just like I discovered yesterday, here's these 250 cents being taken off the payments that I made to the IRS. Now, granted, it's only $1 there, but that's only 2 transactions. I'm not seeing all the other ones, and I'm not seeing the thousands of other customers that they got. It's a nice racket if you can get it.
What gets me is they didn't even explain or have a comeback for it. Whatever happened to it?
Because they haven't.
Back in now.
They haven't got a clue, man. The right hand don't have any idea which rectum the left hand is up. Trust me.
It's amazing. I wish somebody had opened some small banks where you have personal, with people around you,
like with real people,
some type of courtesy.
Yeah.
There is none.
Okay. Good luck to us,
Thanks.
pal. Okay. Family Bank, that's our one last hope anyway out there in West Broward. That's the last gasp we're going to put. We don't want to put a lot of weight on Matt's shoulders out there at Family Bank, but we just did, okay, tomorrow? I'm going in there with a bushel basket full of coins, not money. Think I'm going to trust them with real money in the beginning? Let's see how they operate. Open line in Broward, 524-946. And guess what? Today it didn't make it. How do you like that? Probably had to wait 40 minutes for that, but guess what? Didn't make it today, redneck. 20 after 1 at WIOD. If you
News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio. 610 WIOD.
Well, now that you mentioned it, I really don't know if we do have it in there or not. I don't, I think the answer is no. I don't think it's in there. Oh, now that I take a puke at it, I think it's... It's in there. So screw it. We'll just put it on. We'll have all that good news stuff anyway in a few days, won't we? We won't? Okay, 123 at WIOD. Here's Deerfield. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I got a couple things to say. First of all, maybe if we pay Kareem Abdul a little more, he can hold on to the ball.
I doubt it.
Can you believe that?
Hold the Kareem, please.
In the clutch play...
I say we change his name back to Lou Alcindor Jr. now, and he can't go back to that Kareem bull crap until he starts either running better or catching the ball or both. He stunk the joint out last night.
The pressure was on, and he blew it.
Yeah.
Just like Dion the other night in that...
I love that, maybe. Right there at the end of the game, it was a beautiful thing. I loved it.
Tell me something. Why hasn't Jerry Jones, the owner of Dallas, why doesn't he show his face when they were getting embarrassed by the Bills? Do you notice that? Like, when they're winning, he's on the sidelines, and... but when they're losing, he's gone.
No, he was down there on the sideline.
Was he?
I think. Or no, that was the week before. That's when they lost to the Colts. Remember when Boniol hit the crossbar?
Uh-huh.
No,
yeah,
he was down there.
For the Bills game,
I think you want to know why, because it was raining. He don't want to get wet. He don't want to get wet. And there was a Swisher with that blue schmata over his head, back like a shroud. He looked like something out of the Vatican there, for crying out loud.
He wanted to be anywhere else but there. He was so
trying to crawl into a hole. I loved it. It was a beautiful thing. I'm going to tell you, as long as Barry Swisher is in Dallas, I hope they lose every game.
Well, what they're saying, though, this is the first year that Dallas actually is not riding on what Jimmy Johnson set up.
Right.
So this is his team now, and it's evident that they can't really handle it. But who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm just happy to see the dynasty go down.
And isn't it great, since Jerry Jones has been such an asshole and decides he's running his own league over there in Dallas, isn't it great to see him giving Emmett all of that money and Emmett, basically stinking the joint out?
And
to see Michael getting all of that money and being suspended 5 games and being in a wing somewhere waiting to go beat somebody up. I'm telling you, what goes around comes around, man.
I've never seen that goes to show you, though, you can't buy yourself a good team. I mean, to coach one and have good talent, but if you spend all that money on Dion, Emmett, and Troy Aikman and everybody, it still doesn't mean that you're going to get a championship team.
And thank God for that.
All right, in closing, no team that was 1-3 has ever won the Super Bowl.
Going down.
Okay. Well, that sounded even better. I was going to check that. I was going to test it. It works. I fixed it. Okay, I fixed it. Where the engineers wouldn't do it, I fixed it. I went click like that. It fixed it. Well, okay, maybe that's all it took. But, of course, that would take too much of their time because they're all worried about the coast and Hot Not So Hot 105. So when are they moving into their new building? When are they getting out of here? When are they getting out of our building? Since we have 10 days to terrorize them and to park in what they thought was their parking spots and to get out there. I still say Monday afternoon, if Rick Riley's got any balls, they'll be out there changing that marquee out front. If Rick Riley has got even a tiny pair of ball bearings, Monday afternoon, their first afternoon show, he'll have Adam or somebody out there changing that marquee in front of our building, saying WIOD, God.
Going down.
Going up. Yeah, we've been going down for like 4 months now. Get that damn cart out of there, will you? Yeah, okay, thank you. Here's Boca on the purple line. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Story about NationsBank. I know
another one. There's a million NationsBank stories in the naked city, and we're going to hear them all.
Yeah, but I know where your guys' money went.
Yeah.
I made a deposit for $800. About 4 or 5 days later, I get my statement from the bank. You know, the monthly statement.
You got $8,000.
$80 million. $80 million.
Yeah.
No, I almost did a bad word.
No shot. Yeah.
No shot. So I immediately go up to the bank.
That's what you had at getting the money, no shot.
Yeah, that's right. I immediately go up to the bank, though, and check my, on the ATM, I checked my balance.
Balance, yeah.
Well, they had taken the money out. Otherwise, I was opening up a account in the Caymans and going to wire it out.
Right. Open up one of those Swiss bank accounts.
That's right. But I got there a little later than they did.
Damn it.
But so that's where your money went anyway.
Probably.
Okay, Neil.
Okay, have a good time with it, pal.
Bye.
See ya. Or as Sophia said, don't spend it all in one place. We have an open line in Dade, 751-9463, 751. They're animals anyway. Let them lose their holes. And we have an open line on the purple line, Mobile One Cell, AT&T Wireless, pound IOD. Here's a lady in Miami Beach. Hello. A lady in Miami Beach. Gone? The lady in Miami Beach is gone? What are you hearing? Are you hearing the sounds of...
Silence.
No, there's something on there, though. Trust me. We have an open line in Dade, 751-9463. She's still on there, that bitch. That troll. That witch. That disgusting, pin-headed bitch. She's still on there. You hear that? We're on hold or something. Okay, the bitch put us on hold. Put her on hold. Put her ass on hold. Put her rectum on hold. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Good topic for 2 days, banking. Because
I never expected 2 days, but I'm going to tell you something. There's an endless supply of poor bastards getting ripped off and screwed around.
Oh, in South Florida, banking, you could talk about this all week. You'll have the phone split up.
Good. Okay, sounds good to me.
Banking sucks in South Florida.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've got a horror story with Barnett Bank, if I can share it
Good.
in 1 second.
Excellent. That's Rick Riley's favorite.
Well, let me tell you, I've got a CD account with them in a savings and a checking. Now, every month I get my interest from my CD. And I'll go to the bank and I'll cash it and, you know, use it for whatever. Well, one day I did that, and the next day, what I do is I had put it into my savings account, this interest money this one time. Next day I was going to use some money from my savings account. I said, well, let me call and see what I've got for a balance. Well, lo and behold, I noticed that there's like $60 missing. I said, but wait, why would I have $60 missing when I just put a deposit in yesterday?
Yeah.
I verified with the bank that when I went in cash, an interest check from their bank, the dumb broad, holds the check for 1 day.
From their bank.
Against my account.
Yeah. From their bank.
From their bank. Banking sucks down here. There's no two ways about it.
And it always is like they're looking for some way to stick it to you. In other words, it never the transactions just don't kind of go through as a matter of routine. They're always looking for some way to put a hold, to bounce, to do this, to do something.
Now, let's say you go and make a deposit today.
Yeah.
It's before the time of 4 o'clock, and it says all transactions made before or after 4 are for the next day.
Oh, 2 o'clock in my bank.
Well, we
2 o'clock.
understand that, but here's the kicker.
Yeah.
You can make that deposit before the time, but do you realize that is not credited to your account until that deposit goes to what's called an auditing department at night. Then it gets posted to your account.
Yeah.
That's what they do down here. And that's what screws things up, too. It's not automatic.
Yeah, but when you say it goes through an auditing account, well, that makes it sound like somebody's paying attention. If that's the case, how could they have bounced an $8,000 check I wrote to myself when there was $8,123 right there in the computer for a balance?
Because the auditing department themselves at night screwed up.
Oh, nice.
And that's
Very
what we
nice.
have.
Very
So
nice
you know what
auditing department over there at Nob Hill and Cleary at the Promenade Plaza.
They need a good Bafangula song.
That's what they need, right. Okay, I'm going to do it for them.
Take care.
Okay,
Thanks.
pal.
Bye-bye.
That's what they need. They need a foot up their rectum. That's what they need to wake those bastards up. Who was that? Was that Steve Nicol I just saw there? So what's the story? Is he still with us? Is he against us? Well, we already know that. I mean, is he going to be around? What's the deal now? Oh, he's only sticking around if we can do the Phil Hendrie show at night. Okay, well, we'll find that out. I'll ask Phil. 2 open lines in Broward. What are you laughing about? That's the Emmis. 524-9463, 524-WIOD. Oh, the lady in Miami is back. See, I put her on hold. I knew she'd be back. Hello?
Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm sorry that I was gone. I'm calling you from work.
Well, I figured as much.
The thing is that I have been dying to get through to you because the same thing happened to me at NationsBank that happened to you.
NationsBank, here we go again. I hope that all of those NationsBank 8 million executives are listening right now. It's not just Neil Rogers. It's not just somebody who's pissed off because they screwed me around 20 or 30 times. It's everybody and their brother out there has had it with their damn stinking attitude, and we don't care how many other banks they buy up or how big they get. It's about time they started treating people like human beings.
And you
go
know
ahead.
what's funny is I thought that it was just me, and then when you started telling the story, it was oh my God, because
I mean,
everybody...
yesterday was Great Western that seemed to be getting more of the action than Nations. But today, the Nations Bank stories are, we could have 10 million of them, and we haven't even scratched the surface.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I didn't have that big of an account. I have a student account because I'm going to college, too.
Right.
But anyway, and so something happened. I had one of the check cards, which was the only reason that I ever used NationsBank, because that was pretty convenient.
Yeah.
And so they started bouncing checks that shouldn't have bounced, you know? And
that's their specialty.
And so they're charging me service charges for these checks that keep getting passed through 2 and 3 times because I'm telling the people who are trying to get their money that no, it shouldn't be bouncing. So I get $15, service charges from NationsBank every time that they do it.
Only 15?
Oh, well, it depended.
Now it's 27.
Oh, really?
They've moved up in the world now.
And the companies, that I wrote these checks to, then they're charging me service charges too. So I call customer service, and they're giving me the runaround, and it takes them 2 weeks to even find out why they bounced my checks in the first place. In the meantime, all the checks I've written since then are also getting bounced. So my hole was getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And then, they sent me this letter saying, no, it was really my fault, which it wasn't. But they're going to give me some of the money back. Right. Just for, so that I won't be upset with them and won't leave them. But I left them anyway. So I have this little bitty bank like the one you're talking about that don't charge you service charges for anything.
Right.
Not the ATM, not checks, you don't have to have a minimum balance. It doesn't matter.
Great.
And
what bank is that?
It's a little one called Tropical Federal. It's a credit union.
Okay.
It's based right here in the hospital that I work at. And I was going to call and recommend that before the guy called about Family Bank or whatever it's called. They don't charge you for anything, not even when you have cashier's checks written or money orders, nothing.
Yeah.
They don't charge you service charges.
Great.
Which is how NationsBank nickel and dime you to death in the first place.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I thought I'd share that with you.
Well, stick with the winner, sweetheart.
I'll try.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We have an open line in Dade, 751. We got 2 in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD, as the plot keeps getting thicker and deeper and deeper and deeper. Because people are tired, man. They're fed up. You can screw around with their brain. You can screw around with almost anything. But don't screw around with their money, okay? You got it? Don't screw with my money. And just like this joke that's been going on here for 8 years in this radio station, you have to make it into a joke. It's like so many things in this joint. You have to make it into a joke or you never survive it. I came here 8 years ago to work, and it's like, well, everybody else gets paid every other Thursday. If they would have said to me, you get paid when everybody else does, fine. I have no problem with that. They decided you're going to get paid every Thursday because we just can't write a check that big. So we're going to pay you every Thursday. Fine. But, like, how do I get it? When do I get it? Am I going to get it? And now Leah downstairs in accounting, she's great. When Leah's here, we know that George only has to call her 20 or 30 times and reminder, and I'll get the check. But prior to this, it was like, I can remember a couple of times I went out the door and then all of a sudden turned around and said to myself, hey, guess what? This is just what they were hoping for. It's Thursday and I don't have my check. Let's see if he'll let us keep the money one more day, okay? As opposed to like having some kind of a system. Like, here's how it works, and it'll be in your box, or it'll be in your hand, or it'll be whatever. That's all. Just don't mess with people's money. Is that too much to ask? 136 at WIOD.
News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
Hi, this is G. Gordon Liddy, and they don't come any worse than Neil Rogers.
Yo, I'm Cedric Johnson, and this is my partner, Reggie Washington. And it's time once again for This Old Crack House. Today's project is a lovely two-story condemned brick row house. And Reggie, I see something that needs fixing already.
That's right. You know, the street numbers is painted on the curb. That makes it way too easy for the police to find a place.
Let's fix that, Reggie. Very good. Now let's check the interior. Now that we're inside, you know what it's time for? Time to smoke some crack.
Damn straight.
Now, another big problem with crack houses is the awful smell from homies vomiting on the carpet or brothers pissing on the staircase like my partner Reggie's doing right now.
Yo, Cedric, look at this, man. I'm pissing on his headband.
This presents a major problem. How do you get rid of that awful odor? Easy. Smoke some more crack. You smell anything, Reggie?
Man, I don't smell shit.
Oh, well, that's all the time we have for today. Join us next week for another edition of This Old Crack House.
That was Tupac's favorite show, by the way. 140 at WIOD. We have an open line and date. You know, see, I think we're all in between the breaks here. Everybody's asking these questions about who's going to do what and who's on first, and are there going to be engineers here, and is Paxson doing this? We're asking too many questions. Just show up, do your show, and that's it. Just show up, dummy up, and don't ask any of these questions, okay? And if there's problems, like if there's no log or stuff like that, let it be their problem. Don't let somebody else's problem become your problem. That's what my bank says. Here's a mobile in West Palm. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, all this talk about the banks, I completely agree with you, and I can't believe I've heard all these carts, and the only one that really, really applies to the banks I haven't heard. You do Elmer Fudd does a cart, I'm weeming you.
Yeah.
If that doesn't completely describe what the banks are trying to do to us, I don't know what does.
Okay. You've got it.
Thank you very much, Neil.
Have a great
good
life.
day.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
News, talk, and entertainment radio. 610 WIOD.
They sold this radio station. Now the future is in doubt. Oh! We've been talking about Paxson ever since Cox pulled out. Now we'll work for Paxson. No! The man's a millionaire. Gonna work for Paxson. No! He's like Wayne with more hair. Okay! You might think that it's a bummer when Phil Hendrie's gone. Say goodbye to Aaron Summers. Say hi to Ron and Ron. They're gonna work for Paxson. Unbelievable. And that's a matter of fact. They're gonna work for Paxson. Incredible. But Neil ain't changing his act. Paxson's a born-again Christian, righteous as he can be. Oi! He wants to change the station's letters, the WGOD. Now we'll Paxson. He's the brand new boss. Paxson. We're gonna work for Paxson. Paxson. So make the sign of the cross.
Wait a minute. Here's a little thing.
Okay, 151 at WIOD. That's what we're going to be doing. You know how these rock stations, all the stations that change the format, they do like 3 days of Louie or stupid stuff like that. We're going to have 3 straight days of Joey Reynolds and Drew Michaels tapes. Then we can be sure on Monday we're starting from scratch. Here's Boynton Beach. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I've been depositing my paycheck in Great Western Bank. We're not going to let them get away with this today.
Yeah.
For
they
40
got nailed yesterday bad,
Right.
over and over and over again. They got butchered. They got bloodied bad.
Well, they got to get
Finish him
bloody
off,
again.
man.
For 4 years, my paychecks have been drawn off a bank in New York, and they've been holding them. I had a $4.50 check that I wrote that bounced twice. I got charged $50, $25 service charges each time on a $4.50 check because they hold my payroll check for 5 days every time. So needless to say, I'm done with them.
Good, thank God. Tell them to blow it out their rectum.
Already done. Have a good day.
Excellent. Yeah, if they're going to keep treating you like that, I mean, when you do business with people for so long, and, you know, when you deposit a check, it's just like here with the Cox people, as much of a bunch of bastards as they are, at least you know their checks are good, unlike over there at QAM. At least you know their checks are good, and you'd think that even though they're based in Atlanta, when it's an $8 billion company, they shouldn't be putting ever a hold on that check. On that particular check, you don't need to hold it, to squeeze it, to digest it, to spit it out, to regurgitate it, to see if it's going to be okay. Trust me, it's okay. The sisters can squeeze the few thousand out, okay? Boy, just another excuse, like I said, to hang on to people's money and keep making the interest and use your money to make a fortune. So they can pay all the big salaries to those tellers and schleppers, right? Right. Here's Miami on the purple line. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
I got a couple quick stories for you. First story, I made a couple deposits about 3 months ago at Barnett Bank. Now, the total of deposits equaled about $8,000. Now, I wrote all my checks out, and, same thing that these other callers are saying, my checks start to bounce. So I call Barnett, who I've been with for 9 years, and they tell me that for my particular account, that my checks are only good for the first $5,000. Any amount after that has to be on hold for 72 hours. I was never told of that. I had never more than $5,000 deposit at one particular time.
Yeah.
I was unaware of that. So now my checks start.
So in other words, they just make it up as they go along.
Exactly. They only gave me, even though I've been there 9 years and I've had the same job and have been cashing the same paycheck, they only give me a $5,000 immediate transactions. Anything over that, I have to wait 72 hours.
Beautiful.
And
that's what I call great service after 9 years.
Yep. And you figure a big bank like that, would have some kind of, some other things, to do if they want to keep their customers happy. Here's another one for you. I just got back from a cruise a couple of weeks ago. And I only brought one credit card because I figured I brought a limited amount of cash and I'd have one credit card, gold card, plenty of big line of credit. I'd have no problems. I used the card on the boat because they have something like a sale and sign card where you give them your credit card and then they give you a limit to whatever your credit card limit is, and you can buy things on the boat, drinks, whatever.
Right.
So after the first day, the first half a day, the next day we're at sea, and I try to use my sale and sign card. And the waitress tells me, well, you have to go see the purser because your credit card's not working. My credit card company didn't even give Carnival Cruise Line the option to get in touch with me. They just canceled my card. So now I'm stuck on a boat with the only credit card I have is that particular bank, and I have no money.
I don't get it. They canceled your card for what reason?
Yeah, because when I did the sale and sign card, I thought that it would go through Carnival, but apparently it goes through the Caribbean. So they must have figured that someone gotten a hold of my credit card, and they canceled it.
They canceled it without